Greetings and salutations. This is Spaceboy, and I cannot believe we've hit a year mark here. It's pretty exciting stuff, and just for K28, I am going to do pre-feed music while Surlana tears it up on her side of the bench over there. And so here is the Mega Mix, courtesy of the Spaceboy Music Show that can be heard on the Spaceboy Network, Spaceboy Universe Network, every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. So here it goes.
You are listening to Spaceboy Music.
We've got about 2 minutes to go. Sit back, relax, make sure you got your beverage in hand, and the show will be promptly starting soon.
From the space city called Houston, Texas, welcome to Spaceboy Universe, featuring Spaceboy and the lovely Surlana. So strap in and prepare for launch sequence. And remember, it's Spaceboy's Universe, and you're in it.
Seconds. 5-second tone followed by a 1-second pause.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Okay, gang, let's go.
From the space city called Houston, Texas, welcome to Spaceboy Universe, featuring Spaceboy and the lovely Surlana. So strap in and prepare for launch sequence.
Greetings and salutations. I am Spaceboy.
And I'm Surlana.
Yes, you are. And this is Spaceboy Universe. Hey, it is September 24th, 2016, and it is show number 101. Happy New Year for Spaceboy Universe. Hey, if you want to follow us, you can always do that by going to Twitter, and that's at the SB Universe, and follow Surlana at Surlana. Of course, there's me, Spaceboy, and that is at Spaceboy Music. But before Surlana says something next, I just want to remind everybody this is our anniversary show.
Okay, and if you're going to tweet at us, it would be nice if you would include hashtag SB Universe and or hashtag Space Cadets.
Hey, you want to hang out with those Space Cadets? You can do so by going to spaceboyuniverse.com, click on the dancing chat bubble in the player, and that'll get you in with all the cool kids.
Sorry, your phone throws me off.
Yes, I'm sorry.
In addition to that, you can find us on Twitter, on Facebook, Tumblr, SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. All you have to do is search for Spaceboy Universe.
Speaking of YouTube, Surlana, you know you can find more than the Spaceboy Universe archive of shows. There is video content from Spaceboy Music, video interviews, 2-Bit Gamers, and so much more.
And if you can't join us now live, that's not a problem. You can find us again on Spreaker, SoundCloud, and iTunes.
Because we love to broadcast. So how are you tonight, Surlana?
Well, we're sitting here sort of stitched together. Mm-hmm. You're still recovering. I got over whatever I had, but we don't have any alcohol. We don't have any cake. It's just a regular
sad.
Old, yeah.
It is sad, I know.
There's just too much going on.
Yeah. This past week has been really crazy. I started off with a small cough, and then it built into this catastrophic thing that took me out the previous weekend. And then, of course, we had this major technical issue with the Spaceboy Universe last week. And
yes.
We give our hardest sorries out to Joe, who somehow will get him scheduled back onto the schedule.
He's too cool to miss.
Yes, so definitely we'll let you know when Joe is rescheduled there. But as far as so the cough started to go away. I went to the doctor, found out that I had some kind of bacterial infection, and started taking antibiotics, and that has worked up to a point. And now I think I have this. I just need to be dried out. because I have this cough that comes and goes, and it is debilitating. And to make matters worse, all the coughing that I've been doing has aggravated a muscle problem that I've had in my back, and every time I cough,
He looks like he's about to pass out every time he coughs because it hurts.
the pain is equivalent to somebody hitting me with a baseball bat into my back, and it takes a few minutes, like 5-10 minutes, for me to recover from that pain. It's just really debilitating, and but I do what I can. I try to suck it up. Don't feel sorry for me. I mean, I'll make it through this, and I'll be the same space boy that you've come to love. So,
Yeah, we'll get him through it. You may hear him cough every now and then, or he may have to just get up and leave the room at some point. It does get pretty bad. He and the dog have got the same cough now. It'll just burst your eardrums out.
yeah, you might even hear me take a few sippy sips.
We
out
have
of my cup
Mucinex
here.
and some pill forms, and we also have that. So
Well, the thing is, I wanted to wait until after I took my antibiotics, and now that I've taken all that, and
Okay.
I'm not on any medication now, now let's try that.
you won't but you're not affected the way I am, taking even the most mildest over-the-counter medications such as off-brand Claritin and just regular old off-the-shelf spray, nose spray. I went on some psychedelic Pink Floyd-esque mind trip inside my own brain.
I think you even had Gordon Roop cracking up on it.
I managed to blow Gordon Roop's mind, and I'll get him. He may call in after our first break, and we'll get him to see what he thought about that, because I told him about that crazy dream I had. So, and I posted that on our Friends of Spaceboy Universe
On Facebook.
Facebook. I typed that all up for you because I didn't get to tell you last weekend. I was going to tell you in our banter. But if we run long, or if we got time later and anybody wants to hear it, I'll say it again.
Well, speaking of technical issues that we've had, the one thing we've had residential internet service.
Yeah.
And it's been all right for some needs, and we've managed to wiggle through the past year with it. But we finally, we're a business in the sense that we're Spaceboy Universe, and so I took the opportunity to go ahead and switch us from residential to business class. And what
It is blazing.
it is definitely blazing, and we have a reliable connection. So, in other words, when everybody's getting home and getting on the internet and doing their binge watching on Netflix, guilty, we're not going to be dragged down by that connection
because we're not on that node.
We're on a separate node
Yeah.
altogether, and so what that means to you is the show keeps getting better in the sense that we got a great stream, and we don't have to worry about getting cut off.
But we can still have equipment failures, though.
Yeah, and we're making strides.
We've got the new mixer, we've got some new headsets, but these laptops are starting to fall apart.
show their age, and so our next big acquisitions will be hardware. And new hardware, and what we've had has got us through this year, and but of course things are going to get better. As I'd make no privacies about some of my personal life, and I got laid off from a job, and it's kind of a first for me. I've never been laid off in a job. In fact, continuous employment from I can't even think back how long ago. And
It was second week in May. I remember it vividly.
yeah, and so that was about, I guess, 3 months, was it, Surlana? Or something like that?
It was, second week in May to the second or third week of August.
So during that time period, it was kind of hard.
Longest.
Yes, very long. And,
Very crappy year.
And, we did what we could to keep the universe going, and we were we had talks there like, oh, we're going to be able to make it, and fortunately, there was a group of people that helped us out, and we owe a lot of gratitude to those people. I automatically let everybody know one of the people was K28. He's been a good friend of the show on and off the air, and we really appreciate him. Bob has helped out too as well. And, of course, there's been a few other people, and we've noted that on the Spaceboy Universe homepage towards the bottom of those who have, I guess, sponsored us through those
Friend
hard times.
Leanne, who's helped out
Yeah.
in more ways than financially.
Oh, yes, most definitely, yeah. So to those people that helped us through that dark period, we cannot thank you enough. And speaking of K28, he's going to be in Houston this coming week, and we're supposed to have dinner with him. So I'm really jazzed about sitting down.
Our first fan meet and greet of one, but it counts.
I'm not excited about eating more Mexican food, but, you know, if he wants Mexican food, that's fine. I know Surlana loves Mexican food, so, you know, if whatever everybody wants and it makes them happy, so be it.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Finally get to meet somebody that we hadn't met previously. And now we've got another James in the chat, so all we need is 2 more, and we can do a full house.
Cool. So, yes, thanks for everybody for showing up. Today is our 1-year anniversary. And so where should we start on this, Surlana?
Well, like you said, housekeeping, we did have a huge technical issue, which led us to getting a dedicated line. And, again, we can't apologize enough to Joe Grisafi, and we're going to have to pencil him in at some point to get with him.
And I was going to just point out real quick that Bob posted a pretty funny thing on Twitter.
Yeah, he did.
If you go to our wall on our SBU, the SBU, you'll see a picture that he put
SBU
up there.
Universe.
Yeah, thank you. Take over for a second there, Solana.
Yeah, if you at the SB Universe, Bob posted. Is that Mr. Burns from The Simpsons? It says yes, business class connection. He's like wringing his hands, you know. So, yes, this is a best of show, which we're borrowing the old TV trope, and you may hear a few things. And if you've just started listening to us, you'll get to hear a few clips from shows past that were really hysterical to Spaceboy and I personally. So you can relive those moments with us, but that's a little bit later. We'll get into reminiscing here in a minute.
Plus, you know, we're going to probably talk about humble beginnings, how it all started, and
impressions of guests and topics.
Yes. The guests has been a really big part. I guess it's during the second part of the year of Spaceboy Universe Live, you know, and so there have been so many great guests that have volunteered to come on with their own doing. And, you know, some people like Jim Mars. I mean, not Jim Mars.
Oh, man.
Here I go.
You're dreaming again.
My secret fantasy guest to come on the show. I meant to say Jim Malliard. And he was a great guest that came on. He's had his own talk show for some time, and he really knows how to put it out there and keep in the business with
I'd like
longevity.
to talk to him again, maybe nail down a couple of subjects.
So it was great to see Jim on the show and come on, and I've known Jim for a while. You know, followed him prior to, you know, when I was still doing the music stuff, and he's got a great show, and you should really check him out. And but I mean, other guests. Anything that pops into your mind really quickly?
Well, we're going to get into that, you know.
Okay.
So I was just waiting till we got to a point where, I don't know if you want to take the first break. Because
let's go ahead and start this now. I mean,
okay.
I mean, people are tuned in. They want to know about Spaceboy Universe. We want those newbies that are out there to know the history of where we've been and where we're going. And so no better time than the present to map out the future.
Okay. Well, this is what I remember. It was September 28th last year, 2015. You said, I'd like to do a podcast. And I said, you should do that because, again, that just frees up my time. You're not wondering what I'm doing and when I'm doing it and how I'm going to do it. And
it's kind of like when I do the binge watching thing.
So what do you? Yeah. So I'm like, yay, time to myself. So, and you're like, well, it's too bad you don't want to be seen or heard. And I'm like, well, you know, when I was doing the grad school stuff, I was forced to do some audio narration for presentations, so I couldn't get out of it. I'm like, well, you know, I don't have to hear it, and I hate the sound of my voice. Anytime I go back to listen to even when we have a good show, like, I can't get through it because I just hate the sound of me.
Well, it's funny you bring that up, and let me interject, is that as we've been doing this, there have been the early shows have been hard for me to listen to as well. Not because of you.
No.
Just me being the perfectionist that I want to get this right. And this, like with our scripts that we've done, and I've wanted to do it over and over and over, and you're like, okay, I've got it, but I keep wanting to do it over and over.
Yeah,
So,
it drives me crazy.
But anyway.
But yeah, so you sat down and said, let's just record an audio file, and we'll talk about, let's talk about this one thing. Let's talk about some kind of NASA conspiracies or something, about the moon. I'm like, okay, well, I went off and did my little research, because as I do, and prepped some notes, and you and I just had a conversation, and I said, okay, so is that good? You just wanted someone to bounce off of, right? I said, okay, you got it from here, and I don't know what your intentions were or what. I thought, okay, that's the end of my involvement. You go off and have fun. You'll be great. People already know you and like you. You've got the voice. You got the DJ voice. You know what you're doing. You're knowledgeable into the topics you like. So I don't know what happened. What was going through your head when we did that? What were your true intentions that you didn't tell me? And just give me some feedback on that first session we did.
The reality is that earlier, the show started in September. So earlier in that year, I already knew that I wanted to do something different beyond Spaceboy music. And I figured talk would be the direction to go. And I knew that I didn't want to do it by myself. And I'm about to cough, so please excuse me, everyone.
All right. You're just going to ignore that. It could get worse.
So, I'm not dead yet. But anyway, so I knew that if I was going to do this talk show thing, I wanted you beside me the whole way through. And I knew that you did not want, one, and listen, K28, one, you don't like having your picture taken.
No.
And two, you sure as hell don't want to hear your voice on whatever, didn't want it recorded. So I
still don't.
The reality is I wanted to do something with you that we could do together and be together and have shared memories and shared experiences. And I felt like this would be great because then we could bring on people that you would have never heard or talked with. Like people like Reverend Polk. Mm-hmm. That was something new and different.
Yes.
But that was the vision in my mind.
All of it's
then.
new and different to me.
And it gave you an opportunity to listen to different things that, like, you could say, that's interesting, or no, I'm not buying that. A good example of something that has worked out great is our good friend of the show, Solaris Blue Raven.
I was going to get into all that.
Yeah, I know. I'm just bringing it up because I'm giving you kind of an idea of would you have...
Can you tell we're married?
I don't think you would have just reached out to Solaris and said, hey, you want to be friends?
I didn't know her. You knew her. I didn't know her.
The thing is that was proof positive. That's what I wanted to share was that, somebody I knew or, somebody we could get to know and,
Because the bottom line
and then
is...
we could talk about it off the show and and that was the trend. And at that moment, that's kind of the direction. Secondly, or whatever you want to number this as, I really got the idea because when your dad lived with us and we would go places, he'd sit in the back and he'd listen to us.
Bicker
back and forth. But he would be amused by it. And I thought at that time really was like, this would make
we amused my dad.
This would be a great show, and then, just taking ideas of the fringe, the music, the technology, and giving it context and stories for people to listen to. People would actually be entertained by our marital angst, as you say. And
yep.
So going back to that beginning, I guess I was deceiving you.
You were deceiving. You finally admit it.
I really had a master plan in the sense that I wanted to drag you into.
So you knew something I didn't even back then.
To drag you into my universe, and be a part of it. Because, like I said, at the end of the day, it'd be one thing to do the show by myself, which I probably
You can
could.
do it.
But
I still say you should try it one time.
But I think that I enjoy it more when you're with me and we get to talk about different things and experience things together. And what a great tax write-off this is.
You can write off a failing business?
Hey, now. So, but yeah, that's the beginnings. Is that
Right.
it was my intentions to get you involved in this.
We had several. Maybe, I don't know how many shows we had. Was it more than 8 just of us, or 8 or 12 with us? Let's see. Yeah. Then you said, "Hey,
Well, the show.
let's get on. Start getting guests on."
Well, the show started off where we were strictly on Google. I mean, not Google, but Yahoo. I mean, not Yahoo. I'll get it together here. YouTube, where we were doing the YouTube live stream. And at some point, as I was looking out there for a different kind of streaming option,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a show that everybody, a big part of our audience knows that listens to, Fade to Black, with Jimmy Church, which good friends with Jimmy. I studied what he was doing as far as broadcasting and the application he was using, and I thought, well, let me give that a try and see if it works. And Spreaker has worked out perfectly fine for our needs versus using the YouTube, which was kind of limited. And so that's how the whole aspect of getting on Spreaker. But anyway, you were going to say.
Sorry, I was distracted by chat. As usual.
It's hopping.
What did you just say?
Oh my goodness! I was just describing to our audience, we started our things on YouTube.
Oh yeah, you modeled it after. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and we modeled it after Jimmy's show and the sense
Well,
of
yeah,
the
we
Spreaker.
didn't get on Spreaker, but it has really been that's a free press for Spreaker. Pretty much the best format because is it through Spreaker? You record the show, you run the show, and when you hit finish to hit the recording, it automatically pushes it out.
It literally goes out into the universe.
It pushes it out to the different. Is it iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud?
Yeah, SoundCloud. Now also
Stitcher, TuneIn.
Well, when we're live, it's on Stitcher. It's on TuneIn.
So you don't have to use Spreaker.
TalkStream Live is got it registered.
TalkStream Live is registered.
So I mean, we're all over there, out there.
Thanks, Fran. It's a good job paying attention. I was paying attention to you in chat.
See, she's trying to butter you up, Fran, and you should keep her right over here.
Yeah. So they just recently updated the Spreaker app on the phone, and oh my gosh, it's so much better now. It's so much more functional.
Speaking of the phone, when we had our technical difficulty, I was able to do out a sorry from Spaceboy from my phone.
Yeah, he can record from the app on his phone, too.
I was so surprised how well it sounded. And my only complaint is I wish there was a way to have 2 microphones to go into this thing. So if we were to do some kind of remote thing and still have LTE on our phones, we could do a live remote broadcast thing from the phones. And that's really, really cool. But anyway, I started doing it as using the phone now as a promo thing to send out a promo. I think it confused a few people, but
they get that automatic notification, right?
They get an automatic notification.
That's the nice thing about it. Hey, bloke from Oz, that's Mark. Sorry, I'm seeing people I haven't seen in a while in chat. So that's been good, and I think we've got the connection now. We've got the right apps. We've got partial equipment upgrades. These laptops that they go out might be, screwed, but that's the next thing down the line. But now, we can talk about our topics and guests. Now, you decided on the format. You bamboozled me into this, basically. And I don't really know how to
He wrote me into this
he
thing.
wrote me into this. Don't look at me. He wrote me into this. That's a Rick and Morty reference. So you bamboozled me into this, and you said, it's your show. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that's fine. I don't care. It's fine. It's your show. Whatever. And you said, I want to talk about these topics.
Well, I was when we started the show, I did not want it to be one topic specific. I didn't want to be known as the tech guy. I didn't want it to be known as the music guy. I didn't want to be known as the paranormal guy. wanted to incorporate all these to give each one of these topics that we do.
But these topics genuinely interest you.
They do. And I wanted to be a part of the DNA of the show, the fringe, the music, the technology, pop culture, games, and history.
And we have those conversations most of the time we're in the car.
All the time. Like, who would win in a fight between Lizzie Borden and Helen Keller? So, I mean, those are conversations that we have,
And you thought, why don't we just start recording them and see if anybody pays attention?
Once again, in the car, we're having a conversation, and it sounds like it would be a great show. And that was just keep putting me into that direction, pointing me in that direction to that. Okay,
well, so we got bamboozled into it, and then we kind of got into it. I don't know how to get out of this without damaging the marriage now, so now I'm kind of stuck until he decides to really revamp things. So we got into it, we started kind of enjoying it, and I enjoy doing the research, and you said, okay, it's time to start having guests on. We need to learn how to do interviews with people. And we said, let's get Gordon Root because you know him and he's a friend.
I said, oh, my God, who are we going to get for a guest? Not Gordon, no. But, I mean, Gordon, I had seen some of his periodicals, and I thought, well.
And I was like, I'm sorry, who's Gordon again? Can you, And then I was like, oh, that guy. So I had to come up to speed on him and all his publications.
Yeah, in fact, there was a thing where Gordon was putting out a lot of publications, and somebody was getting mad, like, hey, you're putting too many of these things out. And Gordon said, well, if you want me to take you off my list, just let me know. I said, Gordon, no. Keep me on your list. I like getting information from you. The only other person that kind of does that today with us and that I enjoy getting them still is Patrick Sporer, that's been on the show. But Gordon,
where he is.
Yeah, I'm sure he's out there.
I know Gordon's in chat.
He's always listening. But yeah, Gordon, I just knew that I wanted to get him on the show, and I liked the topics that he was writing about, and I knew that he had an audience out there beyond me. And he would be I knew that he was going to bring value to the show because he just has a
value meal.
He has a great personality. Wouldn't you say that?
Yeah, I think he's warmed up to me a lot, I think. But we've had him on. We talked about conspiracy theories. And then he had his first publication we talked about is Web of Pawns with JFK. And then we had him on to pick his brain about what did he think about Tesla. And, I saw that. Try it again if you want to, caller. We picked his brain about his publication, Web of Pawns, and then Tesla. And we thought, well, if we're going to talk about Tesla, let's do a rebuttal and talk about Thomas Edison. And we found out, Edison's still a jerk. So, and then we talked about his publication on Heaven's Gate, which was really interesting because that gives me a chance to go research and learn something on my own in addition to reading his publication. So if you're trying to call Gordon, there you are. So what do you think about it all, caller?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I think Gordon Roop's an awesome guest.
Isn't he?
I don't know what you've been smoking. I mean...
Well, nothing compared to some of the dreams that Surlana's been having.
So
anyway, it's Gordon Roop, everyone.
Hey, kids.
Now, first off, I'm going to say this again. You sound great. You're using the Skype. I know you got some great headphones now. And
awesome headphones.
And it's just amazing to talk to you now because when we talked to you before, your voice was kind of constricted to the use of a cell phone. But now you just sound...
No fault of your own.
Yeah, no fault of your own. But I'm just oogling over you over the fact that you sound great, Gordon.
Oh, well, thank you so very much. I'm glad that you sound better. The last time I talked to you, not only were you doped up because of your throat thing, but dear God, you're like, oh, hey. And you sounded like if Tom Waits had eaten a whole barrel of gravel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you were like, I'm like, okay. Why don't you put Surlana on the phone, buddy? You're like, okay.
I didn't know what he was doing. And I was like, yeah. Lately it's starting to break up, and when he's clearing his throat, he's trying to clear the crap out of it. He sounds like he's on the verge of trying to do a Seth Rogen laugh. Yeah.
Well, no, because like it went from him being doped up to, hey, Gordon, I'm so glad you called. Look, I had this really weird dream, okay? And then Surlana goes on a 45-minute tirade about her joining the secret society of the Osbournes.
What he's talking about.
In a record shop that's split in half. And, like, next thing you know, cats and dogs
living together.
Mass hysteria.
Tell them what you so I had described this crazy dream I had, because when he came down this, I came down with another version of it, but not as deep. But I went and got some just over-the-counter nose spray, off-brand Claritin over-the-counter, and because I'm a lightweight when it comes to medications, prescription and OTCs, it's I went on a trip. I went on a psychedelic trip the night I took it. I never had nose spray when you have you pump the nose spray when you first start. It says, okay, you need to prime the bottle before you start to spray it, so you make sure it's working. I sprayed it and went straight to the ceiling. I heard it bounce off the ceiling. I was like, is this going to puncture a hole in my skull? What is this?
Well, no. What you told me, and this is honest to God truth, what you said about the nose spray gel was, and I quote, I sprayed it and it hit the ceiling and that it's still there. That's what you said to me. And I'm like, and you're like, and that was yesterday. And the first thing I thought of was like, the ceiling of an adult theater. But anyway.
Well, yeah, but I never had Zicam before with, the Claritin, and I just went straight to sleep. And next thing I know, they found out Ozzy Osbourne was my real father, and I was really upset about it because I didn't want to be part of their insanity.
Can we please not rehash
No,
this?
we won't.
Because
We won't.
I had nightmares for days.
Tell them how you described me after I told you that.
If acid could take LSD, that would be your dream. Because the night that you had told me that, I went to bed, and mind you, I just, by the way, in case those of you who don't know, I just came off of a 48-hour EEG. They're mapping my brain, and I get the results on Monday. I can't wait.
So you think they'll find something like a brain?
I expect them to find a sign that says you are here, and then about an inch away from that, there's like a Mrs. Fields.
Oh, cool.
But
at least there's a Starbucks in there.
So that night, I took one of my sleeping pills, and apparently your dream had a conference call with my dream because
conference call.
I was in a room with, and it was David Bowie as Nikola Tesla from the movie The Prestige.
Oh yeah, we saw that.
That's a great.
That's a good one. He was good.
And we're sitting there, we're drinking tea, and he says, "Excuse me for a moment." And he goes into the room, and he comes out, and he's dressed up in a kimono.
He would do that.
And then he has a big band behind him, and they're singing and all that jazz. Then he asked me if I would like to get my back pierced in honor of annual Lizard Month. And I'm making all this up. This never happened.
Oh, I was going to say,
Yeah.
It sounded pretty interesting.
I was like, you want to write a book together?
But speaking of more reality, Gordon, we brought you on. I guess your show was in December, wasn't it? Original, the first show.
Oh, it was like
It was
October or something like that.
Tell us a little bit about your feelings and how, when we approached you or when I approached you.
Open up and tell us your feelings.
Tell us your feelings.
First and foremost, I wasn't sure what I was allowed to say. I'm a very expressive person. And I'm not talking about swear words or anything. I'm talking about I'm very opinionated. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay, can I go ahead and say that this person is like an idiot or that person's? You're like, no.
No.
You're like,
you can't have opinions. They're too dangerous.
You're like, look, you're my friend and all that, but you got to keep it PG. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, if I say they're an idiot, that's PG. And you're like, well, just keep it PG.
Mm-hmm. And that is because of you. We had to dig up a disclaimer and put it on our site.
Really?
Yeah. So the views of our guests are not necessarily the opinions of Spaceboy, Surlana, or the affiliated sponsors or advertisers.
Congratulations, Billy.
So does that mean I can talk smack now?
Well,
we'd rather you didn't.
We did have Gordon scheduled, and due to an unfortunate technical difficulties. No, I think originally what I've said, and I've said this about the show.
Controversial.
We've tried to stay away from political things and
politics,
religions, and there are shows out there. If you want to listen to that and get into arguments, go to those shows. This is not the show.
Well, the thing I like about Spaceboy is the only time we talk about religion and or politics, and is in regards to history.
Yes,
historically,
philosophical.
Historically, XYZ happened. Historically, this says that. So that gets into that matter. Mm-hmm. Other than that, we're not like, I'm going to vote for ... and my political beliefs are better than yours because, blah, blah, blah. We don't get into that. I love it. I respect it. A lot of shows don't have that. And, that's. Wait. Gene borrowed the first line from Gordon. What did he borrow?
Scroll back down. You'll see he did a poem.
Oh, if it's acid, could take LSD. Yeah, okay.
Well, let me point this out, Gordon, is that I wanted to make sure that, we're not all going to agree on the same thing. The purpose of the show is to bring people on, hang out, have a conversation. You say some things, what you believe in and how your point of view. We listen and maybe broaden our horizon, learn a new point of view. If we agree with it, great. If not, not.
If not, well, bless your heart.
But then, at the same point, what I want to make a point.
Wait, stop! You got to do the Southern translation. See, in the South, when you say "bless your heart," that's not a compliment.
No.
Okay? Yeah.
It's like you poor undereducated fool. You're trying, but it's not working.
Oh, bless his heart.
Oh no! Sometimes we actually do mean it that way in a sympathy way, like, my cat got ran over. Oh, bless your heart!
And I think that's what's confusing is people. If you don't know exactly
context is everything.
Yes, then it'll be
when
like
someone blesses your heart. You got to. Really
the thing is that I wanted to just finish off with this is that
I did
finish him.
Is that. I wanted to, even though I maybe have a different opinion from someone else, I still want to listen to what you have to say because it makes me more educated in the sense that from the point of view from someone else. To close yourself off and isolate yourself and just say, my opinion is all that matters, is just dooming yourself to be an idiot.
Mm-hmm. But, that's what makes you a stronger host, I think. I mean, because it's not about arguing with your guest or saying, I'm wrong and you're right. It's about expressing different point of views and respecting them, whether you agree with them or not. And, that's where I'm sold on because, I doubt any of the Space Cadets have noticed that I have been absent from social media for the past 2-3 months. But the reason I am is because I'm tired of hearing all the political stuff. Mm-hmm. Tired of it.
I have opinions and thoughts about everything. I just don't tell anybody about it because I like to keep things mysterious.
I'm tired of the hate. I'm tired of the trolls. And I could go down a story about trolls and the passing of my mother and the connection there. And I guess I've learned from that. I just don't want to be that person. I don't want to be angry. I want to get to know you as a person and respect you as a person. And in that aspect, that's why I want to be
That's
open.
why you're a better person than I am.
Well, because it's, doing the first show, I was nervous in the sense that I'm like, okay, what's everybody's opinion of me going to be? And then I realized,
you can't care about that.
Well, no, it wasn't that. It was it became more of how am I going to present myself. Oh, I love you too, Bev. Bev is the only person in a year to buy my Heaven's Gate book So I have such love for her. She, but you know, and you know, I want to tell the Space Cadets, if you do buy my books, please review them. I don't care if it's a bad review or a good review. Just review them, because, you know, that helps me grow as a writer. It lets me know what I need to work on. You know, and you know, I'm especially excited. We talked about this off air with the show Raven coming up about Jonestown.
Mm-hmm.
So you do know about it.
And act like you don't know, Surlana. But no, and Surlana's like, you could be our Jonestown correspondent, and I'm like, and I'm just like, what is that? Like, you know, well, and in terms
I just
of
say,
Jonestown,
you know, you're going to have it in it.
we're turning to Gordon, our Jonestown correspondent, who is actually live in Guyana. Is that correct? You know, like, but no, I'd enjoy that. You know, I like that, and you know. I think I was nervous about how I was going to be perceived versus how I portrayed myself, if that makes sense. Because everybody knows who I am, roughly. I mean, all the Space Cadets know me. They know my attitude. They know my opinion. So it was just a matter of saying, okay, you know what, let's just get the facts out about this book or that book, and, you know, we'll move on from there. And from there, it's become, I'm super comfortable when I'm on the show. You know, I'm super comfortable in talking on Spreaker, you know, while I'm talking on the phone and while I'm, you know, and you guys sent me these awesome headset, this awesome headset.
We
so
were
that
quite
way,
frankly tired of you complaining, and so
Like, this will shut him up.
This will
okay, wait. First of all, okay, no, now, wait. Now, the reason that this whole headset thing came to be was you guys' fault, if you recall.
Uh-oh.
Because
so he's going to turn the tables on us.
Because somebody said, "Okay, Gordon, you're going to be on the show." Okay, 10 minutes to showtime. I call in. We're chit chatting. Everything's fine. Everything's groovy. They can hear me. I can hear them. And then we go on air because Spaceboy was simultaneous on YouTube. And all of a sudden, I feel like I'm listening to Pink Floyd The Wall.
That had nothing to do with it,
Because
other people could call in with no issue.
Because all I'm hearing is, hello.
Well,
you know,
long story short is that we
was funny.
We got you in a position where you sound great now. And at the end of the day, there's one thing I'll just tell the audience, period. I've had conversations with Gordon many times when I'm not been sick and when I've actually been lucid. And I've told Gordon many times, Gordon, I believe in you, man. I think you have something there. You just need to go out, and you have my support as a friend. Have I not said that to you?
Oh yeah, you guys. I mean, when there was a book. I'm not going to say which book it was, but I was on the brink of just throwing it down and going, you know what, I'm done. Screw this. And you know, Spaceboy gives me this Obi-Wan Kenobi pep talk, and then he goes to Surlana and he's like, even Surlana feels that way, don't you? And she's like, yeah, I guess.
I have no idea what we're talking about.
And
you need to stop paying attention to Fran.
And damn it, Fran. Okay, there, I said it there. But no, and you know, he gave me this awesome pep talk, and I mean, if there was anybody out there who has shown their support for me, shown their belief in me, it'd be you two.
I'm just
because
like, Gordon, just keep the secrets. That's all I care about.
Even on a serious note, even when I said, look, let me send you a copy of this book so you can read it and you know, like for Jonestown, I said, oh, I'll send you the Jonestown book so that way you know what we're talking about. And Surlana's like, no, I'm going to buy it. No, I'm going to buy it. Don't send it to me. I'm going to buy it.
Because I didn't want you to get in trouble with Amazon. That way you got the sale, and I can leave a review on it legitimate without them thinking that you bought me off.
But if I gift it to you, I mean, it's it still counts as, promotional, and you still need to, anyway. But it was like, even if it's something that I haven't published, I mean, it's a matter of, well, I'll wait till, I can buy it because, I want to make sure that you make money off of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you guys have treated me. And,
Plus, it's not expensive.
Well, I mean, and it's a matter of, I mean, I'll get a message like, when my son Caleb was sick a couple months ago, out of nowhere in the middle of the day, I get a text from Surlana, "Is Caleb doing better?" And I'm like, "What? What? What?"
See, the thing is, people don't realize that, when you follow us on Twitter or Facebook, we're watching you. And
we're watching you. We know everything. And we can see what you're wearing right now.
I hate to sound like Big Brother on that, but we generally...
It's totally Big Brother.
We generally...
The fact that Surlana said she knows what I'm wearing is really disturbing. Okay.
But, I mean, when Caleb was not well, I mean, that's just a prime example of, hey... We see that you
even talked to his son on the phone.
I did have a interesting. It was like your dream.
Oh God! Okay, can I tell that story real quick?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, I hadn't been feeling well because of my epilepsy, and I took a small nap, and Caleb somehow had my phone, and Spaceboy calls, so Caleb answers it, and he has like a 20-minute conversation with Spaceboy about the Hulk, Superman, Kryptonite. What else was it?
Oh, it was all Marvel kind of related in DC, and but it just I just kind of went with the flow. I mean,
yeah. And so eventually he says he's like, my wife had seen him with my phone. She's like, "Who are you talking to?" And because he will, like, I have an old cell phone that he uses as a toy. It's like one of those cheapo cell phones.
And then I believe I threw Kimmy off when she got on the phone as well.
Yeah, you did. It was awesome. She was like, "I talked to Spaceboy today," and I'm like, "What? Wait, what?"
We all talked to him.
I'm like, "Did I wake up in an alternate universe again?"
But yeah, that did make my day, though. He is a chip off the old father's block. So I mean, he had me laughing, and we talked about pop culture things, and even though it was
could have had him on the show,
maybe One Direction, it was like it was enjoyable. I mean, I was a kid, so I could kind of get into that mindset and. It was a good conversation.
Well, he's very obsessed about the politics between Superman and Batman. He thinks they should be best friends.
Well, see, he gets along with Spaceboy.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, I mean,
but,
they have that Martha connection.
Not even I will talk about that with Spaceboy. So I'm like, whatever.
But, I mean, you guys, and this is, I'm not trying to be funny, and I'm being deadly serious. You guys have always been super supportive. I mean, you've always, When I feel, when I question what I'm doing, when I question my craft, when I question any of that, you guys are there and you give me the pep talk that I need. And, I'd like to think that goes both ways because, I know Spaceboy and I have had conversations where there's some doubt involved. Mm-hmm. But and I'm still waiting for my David Bowie remix, by the way.
Which David Bowie remix?
Heroes.
Heroes?
Oh, Heroes.
I don't think you meant... Well, I tell you what, when I get well and I can actually sing again...
It was supposed to be Heroes and Space Oddity.
Well, I've done the Space Oddity one.
That was the... Okay, so that is... Okay. Yeah, I thought it was going to be done especially for me, but okay.
Well,
okay, no, that's cool.
I mean, hey, look, I can't get him to do things especially for me.
Look, ladies. Oh, no. Well, Gordon, we love you, man, and we appreciate you being a part of the show here. And I guess I don't see you on the schedule until it probably won't be back maybe until January. But you shouldn't take that as a negative.
He'll probably call on December 3rd, I bet.
December 3rd. Oh yeah, because
of that topic.
Speaking of David Bowie, we're going to try to do a David Bowie show on the 3rd of December.
Sorry, I am like a Bowie mega fan.
I know you are.
Bowie.
I am too as well. So
every remastered version, every box set, I have it. I'm just, oh my God. Well, he was the first, musical artist to put music out on the internet, specifically for the internet. He did 3 songs, and that was in 98, 97, 98. He did 3 songs that were internet exclusive. So, I mean, the man, was obviously way ahead of his time.
Well, maybe that night you can give us a call.
You call in as an expert fan or something.
Uber fan. So, but yeah, Gordon, we just like I said, we thank you. We appreciate you being a part of the show. We believe in you. We're putting that out there in front of the whole universe, and
it's appreciated.
You've made the universe better for us, and we appreciate that.
Well, I thank you. If I could give a quick plug for myself.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Sure.
I still have my books available on Amazon. I'm currently working on, count 'em, 4 different books right now. All of them are going to have the same release date, which is going to be January 1st. The book that I'm most excited about is called The Wrong Tombstone. And it's exploring the myth about John Wilkes Booth not dying after he assassinated the president.
Interesting.
And there's a fair amount of evidence to support that.
I heard something about that. Yeah.
And so I go into, oh my God, Robert did not just bring up Nightwing. Anyway, whatever, Bob. But I'm very excited about this project. I did a lot of research into it.
I can't wait to read that.
Well, I mean, the thing I want people to keep in mind about, a lot of my books, because I've gotten some emails about it, I don't write like you already know about the topic. A lot of writers write their books as if you already know what I'm talking about, and then they continue with that story. And I don't do that. I put it in a little bit of perspective. So there's a little bit of a bio of John Wilkes Booth and his co-conspirators, and a little bit about the ideas of the time, because people think Lincoln was such a beloved president. In his time, he was severely hated. So I'm trying to keep that in the perspective in the book. But I'm very excited about that project. I've got 2 more erotica books coming out. I've got some books about the mafia I'm working on. I've got some fiction books that I'm working on that I'm very excited about, because everybody keeps saying, "Where's your fiction? Where's your fiction?" I'm like, "Well, give me time to write it, and I'll write it." But I got a handful coming out in January, because that's just how I roll, dog.
Well, Gordon, thanks for calling home.
Well, yeah. Well, you only paid me to be on for the 10 minutes.
Oh, yes.
So, yeah.
So you're in a deficit now. We'll talk about that off air.
Yeah. Well, we'll just call it even from that little condom collection you sent me. But
anyway, that's Gordon Roop, everyone. Thanks for calling.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Anyway, so
I'm sorry. Right when we hung up, it came up. How would you rate the overall quality of this call? Like, silly.
But yeah, Gordon has been a great part of the universe, and we love him to death. And to take the time to work with us, build this universe up, and
Plus, he knows too many secrets now.
And he. One thing I like about Gordon is his, the history.
He likes the history like you do.
Yeah, like I do, and which ties in with another guest that we had, Jeff Mudgett.
Oh, you're just going to go shotgun.
I think that's probably the best bet.
Okay.
With some of these.
He fascinated me. Whether he's making up the stuff in his book or not, it was a good read. You can look at it. It was a work of fiction, or you could look at it as a work of truth. But to me, it reminded me of the feelings I felt when I would read some short stories by Lovecraft.
Now, it's important to tell the audience, if you didn't catch that show, Jeff Mudgett is supposedly an ancestor of H.H. Holmes, who was a serial killer.
America's first known serial killer and possible suspect for Jack the Ripper, because he was over there in England at that time.
The fascinating thing that how we got this guest was I had watched a TED Talk with him in it. However, it wasn't necessarily. I had watched that, and then I heard that our good friend Solaris Blue Raven had him on the show. I had him on the show, and she was able to kind of grease the wheel, if you could say, to help us get him on the show.
She's done that twice for us.
She's done that twice for us, and that's why we love Solaris Blue Raven, because she has been an angel for us. I mean,
very good, supportive.
Very supportive. Things I've been down
We got
with
interviewed by her on one of her shows.
Yeah, she brought us on the show, and we crack her up, and she enjoys listening to us, and as we do with her. When I first heard Solaris Blue Raven, it was back on the Dark Matter Radio Network, and I was just fascinated by the speed that she would.
She's got to get all that info out.
She's got a pentameter that it's so quick, and I compared her to high-speed internet because, I mean, when you listen to her, you don't miss anything. It downloads into you, and I was always fascinated by that, and that's when I became a big fan of her show, and I hope she's listening because we love her to death, and she's one of those people, like Surlana was saying, that supports us outside the show and watches us and follows us, and I also love the fact that when Solaris speaks her mind, I mean, she does it. I mean,
she puts it out there.
She puts
and
the smack down.
Yeah.
She don't care what you think. I mean, it's there, and so, but we're a big supporter of Solaris Blue Raven, and we were excited. One, helping us get Jeff on the show, and now I'm trying to remember who was the other lucky contestant that she got us hooked up with. Oh, David Adair. How about that show? That was
a coup. That was quite a coup to get him because he's a hot ticket right now.
And, I mean, granted, we didn't get a chance. There was so many people in our chat room at the time. We ended up doing the show for 3 hours that night.
Solaris is in the chat now.
Oh, awesome. Yes, no problem. We love you to death, like I said. When David came on the show, he's a legend. I mean, I remember hearing him back on the Art Bell show, Coast to Coast AM, and talking about the many things. He talked about the cow thing.
Because we asked him to.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of people that wanted to hear the story about the UFO or the engine at Area 51 that we didn't get to. But like I said, he could have gone forever, even beyond not talking about that subject matter. Hopefully
he'll come back.
He was talking about another subject matter, gamma burst. I think that's what he was talking about.
We have a caller.
Oh, okay.
Caller, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
It's the one and only Les.
Hey, Les, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. Really good. How are you both
sound
doing?
Good.
Well, that's because I'm using the fancy Bluetooth mic and Skype. Skype always sounds good.
Yes, it does. Think about what it can do for Gordon. It could do for anybody.
You could turn him into Barry White.
Hey, baby. Yeah, absolutely.
It's so good to hear from you. It's not like I haven't talked to you in forever.
I know. It's you guys have been keeping up on Facebook, I'm sure. I've actually gotten a new job, and it takes a lot out of you, I swear.
You don't have to tell us. We went through some dark times without one.
After 3 months of being off and then switching back into a job, it was quite different, switching gears. So
a blessing. But, at the same time, it allowed you to open up and do a little bit more creative stuff, get online a little bit more, do a little bit more spotting here and there. So, having a little time off does help now and again because it gives you that perspective thing.
Well, I got a lot of perspective.
Oh, yeah, he had perspective for everybody, and I was like, dear Lord, can we get him something to get him out of this house? And, I was ready to set him up with volunteer work.
Yeah, it's you'd be surprised how quickly you can get very depressed when you're not working when you used to be working.
I've been there.
Oh, yeah. Well, anyway, I didn't want to take up too much of your time. I just wanted to say congratulations. It's been a year, And you guys have put together, you've always had an amazing show, but it's so put together now, and you guys have done such a good job with it. I just wanted to say congratulations. And thank you very much for expanding our universe.
Thank you, Les.
Thank you, Les.
We appreciate you, man.
All right. I love you guys. You guys have a great night. I'll be here.
All right,
Okay,
back
thank
at
you, Liz.
Good night.
Night.
Hey, that was great.
It's wanting me to rate everyone's call. That's just so not
Les
polite.
gets 5 stars. Or I don't even ask you
I
about
think it's talking about the
rockets.
quality of the call, not the quality of person.
Well, I hate asking, every time I say, well, how many rockets would you give this? Well, I'm going to give it 4 test tubes. I mean, what did you do? What?
It's because you can't tell me what to do, man.
I know. It makes it interesting. So, anyway, we were talking about David and Adair and a great show what that was. And,
Yeah, and that came about because of our new good friend, Loris Blue Raven. And we've gotten other people like that, because we would be on someone else's show. You've been interviewed by yourself. And that's how we got to have our new friend Patrick Sporer, who who's talked to us privately on the phone and through emails and
support.
Very, very much supportive, and we appreciate everything he's done, all the suggestions he's given us in the past, and we've
we are on his mailing list, and I look forward to whenever he sends an email to read up on what's going on. He might give us a standard email of the general things that he's working on, or he might give something specific like, hey, Spaceboy, have you seen this? Or have you seen this article? And it is quite fascinating. And I believe we're going to have Patrick back on in December.
Yes.
And so, we wanted some time to go by so that when he comes back on, it's like, wow, I can't believe he's back on. And so that's great.
I think, do we have another caller here?
Caller, you're on the air.
Well, hi.
Well,
Hey,
hi.
it's Fran.
No.
No, I know it's Bev.
It's not Fran.
The funny thing is that everybody knows that I have these, I call it the Gene Hackman syndrome, and we'll explain that later. But and where I mentally switch things or get confused, and one of my favorite things is that switching Bev for Fran and Fran for Bev.
Yeah, his adorable senior moments he has.
But I love you, Fran. I mean, Bev.
Well, I love you too, Space Boy.
I love her too.
Hey,
Bob.
it's Bob.
That's it. Supervisor Bob.
You got us both tonight.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. Y'all have been true space cadets from almost the beginning of the show. What are some of your favorite moments or thoughts about the show? And, let us know.
For me, I like, God, I hope I get his name right, Mono.
Manu Interrami?
Yes, Mono Interrami.
Yeah, I love those interviews, man.
Yeah.
Those are some of my favorites. Nothing against Gordon. Gordon, don't get mad at me.
Yeah, I was gonna bring up everybody that's been on the show, but Spaceboy is not going in order.
No, I wanted to kind of go back.
And it's slightly irritating me. Yeah, he's a cool guy. He's got a new thing going on with his project, The Circuit, and he's got like a Kickstarter going on to help campaign and fund it. So hopefully,
I've seen some of the videos, and it's just they are so cool.
I was just going to bring up those videos because he does. We follow him on Facebook and
Twitter,
and with Facebook, you can do the live promo things like you've probably seen me do on Saturdays or even Wednesday, but. We're constantly getting notifications that Mono Interrami is live. It's
I've caught tail end of a couple of them, but yeah, they're pretty cool.
Yeah, it's wonderful with technology how you can get the word out like that, and his project with the circuit is so awesome. And
I mean, Walter Koenig. I mean, the character he's playing. I seen the preview of the show that they did with him. It's like, man, that's totally different than his character.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully he'll come back on and give us a report of how things going, or,
Oh, that would be cool.
Maybe we can, pin him down sometime soon.
Wow, that would be cool,
Even
man.
if it's just for 20 minutes or something, we'll have to reach out to them. We've got a lot of things in the works now, and we've got a lot of tasks we got to do for our mini maker fair coming up.
Yeah, speaking of which, we're doing.
You guys,
go ahead.
Spaceboy, once you get just take it easy. New job. It always happens. It never fails. You catch a cold, and things will work out, man.
Please don't wait too long to start something before you catch pneumonia. That's no fun.
Yeah, I hear you. Especially if I was running for president. I don't want that. Okay,
Yeah.
now
No
that's
comment.
okay. That's the only political thing I'm going to say. I'm sorry. I just wanted
we're neutral here.
to. But
but I agree with you.
Yes, I do too.
I try. Most of the time, I don't get sick. Solana will tell you that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much a rock, and then all of a sudden when I
He doesn't get sick. He doesn't
But just
sweat.
think-
He doesn't get hot. He's not from this planet.
It just seems to never fail. You start something new like that, and it happens. I don't know why, but it does.
What planet are you from, Space Boy?
Omicron Persei 7.
Yes, there you go.
On what?
Omicron Persei 7.
Because women are from
Oh,
Omicron
there you go.
Persei 8.
Never heard of it.
That's because you didn't watch Futurama.
Well, okay, yeah.
It's a
I don't
Futurama reference.
But
We're nerds. We can't help
Anyway,
it.
while
Bender's my favorite.
have you
so.
on here, we want to thank you as for sponsoring us as we're calling it the Dark Times.
And the moral support.
I wish we could have done more, man.
No, it was any little bit counts, and I know that between what you donated and the love that you give the show, it's almost like it's not a show if Bev doesn't call in. I mean, we kind of expect her to call in, and it's really a treat to hear from you tonight, Bob, because we don't usually get to hear from you, but I guess because Fran, there I go again. Because I swear,
Poor Fran.
Bev, she just wants to hog that phone away from you, I guess.
She does.
Well, what it is Fran and Bev are just on this high level of awesomeness. They're kind of almost interchangeable because they're so cool.
Yeah.
Or Space Boy, you can call me anything you want except late for supper.
Hey, I usually say late for lunch, but
And they're such good sports about you getting them mixed up, and you generally trying not to, but it's like you sabotage yourself.
Hey,
we just appreciate you
we've
guys
decided
so much.
that Fran and I have decided that we are each other's ultra self.
Well, that's good. That way you don't mind
you
being
couldn't
interchanged.
have picked a better person to be an alter self. I do think the world of you, Bev, and of course I do think the world of Fran. And
we just
and Bob's okay too, right?
Bob's okay. Bob, whatever. Bob could just come along for the ride, I guess. But
I guess.
but yeah, we want you to know that from the bottom of our hearts, Solana and myself, that we appreciate you sticking through with us. And I've got to be honest here, take a moment to be honest. When we started the show, we lost a few friends because
Why?
I just don't know. They were very supportive, and then all of a sudden they disappeared.
Wow.
Now, at the same token, there were people that followed us, like y'all, and then we've met new friends that have become a part of our family, like Solaris Blue Raven and Patrick Sporer and Gordon.
Well, yeah, we've replaced some people with others.
It was kind of sad to lose those, but Solana says you kind of learn who your friends are, and I'm
right.
That's what I was going to say. You find out who your true friends really are.
But when you reach a certain plateau, sometimes some people just can't hang on to that plateau.
Right. Well, we appreciate y'all sticking with us, and here's to many more years of Spaceboy Universe.
Oh, we'll be there.
Hey, we'll be there.
Good. I expect y'all to.
You might be the last two there.
Unless something would come up
Hey, you still need all three of them pocket monkeys, man. I'm telling you.
Oh, now I get what he was saying. I was like, no, you're not allowed to have this.
People in the audience are going to be confused, but there's these devices that can pop up, and creepy looking monkey things, and
you stick it on the back of like an iPad or a phone
it's
or
the
in your
intentions
pocket.
of scaring somebody.
Yeah, this little critter will
I've
pop
never
up.
seen him.
Oh, I'd love to have them.
Go to his personal Facebook wall, and you'll see he's posted a video for the. It's bad enough he has that DAMN bird from off of the that's supposed to a little parrot that's supposed to mimic what you say, and that bird you've got in there.
No, I bought the parakeet, which chirps when you go by it.
Oh well, that's not that bad. You didn't get that terrible one.
I didn't get the talking parrot where you program it in. The only thing I did with the parrot was when I was at the store, I would say things into the parrot, and then I would leave, and then.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing bad, but pretty funny stuff.
Funniest one is the parrot with Djibouti dubs on YouTube.
Yeah,
they dub over the commercial. Oh, that's so funny.
But anyway, y'all guys, we appreciate you calling in tonight, and
we know we'll hear from you again.
Most definitely.
Always.
You guys have a good one, man.
And
You
we
too.
love
you guys
so much.
Love you too.
And we appreciate you a lot.
Keep looking to the sky.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye, guys. Love you.
Bye.
So
I need to put this number in as Bev.
while you're doing that, can I play the funny moments of Spaceboy?
Oh, wait. We've got another caller.
Okay.
It's going to be like that. We're going to have a long show. Hey, caller, are you there?
Hello.
Talk a little more. So
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Is it K?
Yeah.
28, yes.
It is K28.
His name actually came up.
Well, I think I programmed it.
Yeah, well, I got to get Ben and Bob's.
How
program.
are you, K28?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Are you
better?
getting excited?
Well, I still got a little frog in my throat, but
Oh, okay.
That's gross.
Hopefully you'll be fine.
I know you. It'll be like, doggone it, you're coming to dinner with me on Tuesday, and if I have to drag you out of bed.
I'll bring you a set of earplugs because he, as you can hear, has this, bless his heart, and I mean that in a sympathetic Southern sense, has an eardrum busting cough. So don't be alarmed if he coughs and it looks like he's going to pass out. He'll be fine.
I'm a trained professional.
Yeah, you're so tired from making the universe every day.
There you go. I'll go with that. So, Kay, we did a show with you on our other project that we do called Data Bytes, which is bite-sized pieces of the universe. And so you were our, I guess, technically our first interview.
Yeah.
Yes. Because the first thing doesn't count. Because we did the Mars movie thing.
Yeah.
But K28 was the first official conversation we had, and we talked to you about your stint with doing video games. And
it was Sega.
Yeah, Sega. And I loved Sega back in the day in the 90s. I think, who didn't? If you didn't play Sega, you were probably with a Super NES, but I think the people were, at that time, here I'm going to go down video game lane, they loved Sega because of the fact that, like, say, for instance, Mortal Kombat, you actually got to see blood, red, versus Super NES, which they kind of just made it gray. And so it was more in-your-face kind of thing and better, I don't want to say better graphics, but overall the better package deal. Wouldn't you agree to something like that?
Yeah, I think so, even though I never played it.
What? You worked on these things and you never played them?
I didn't work on that.
Well, I mean, you worked... Okay, tell the audience what you did. So,
I worked on the sports games.
Right. Well, still, you played those, didn't you?
Oh, there's no blood in that.
Oh, you made it sound like you didn't even play any of the games, K28.
Well, I played what I could. So. Yeah, they were fun.
So,
especially when I was working in Japan.
Oh yeah, and that was cool, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He likes the crazy things that I like, the Japanese, little stuffed animals and Domo-kun and little cat figures. So, I guess we bonded over that.
Pikachu.
So, Kay, what were some of your fondest moments of Spaceboy Universe?
Surlana doing the laundry.
Well, just stick around for a bit tonight, Kay. You might hear some things you like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it was when you had David Adair on 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
that was a fun show.
That was a fun show.
And unfortunately, the best parts don't get to air because it's when we're talking to him during the break.
Oh, yeah, that's the crazy thing.
Trying
is
to get him to stop talking.
I'm like, hey, we're coming back. Hey, we're coming back.
Same with Micah Hanks. Who else did that to us?
Another great guest, and I was
Christopher
so
Garetano was like that too.
Mm-hmm. That these guys were just packed full of information, and it's hard to stop them once they get on a roll because one thing leads to another, and David was definitely like that. David has this because he's a Southerner. He has a certain way of captivating you with a story, and he goes down this list, and it was quite interesting when he was talking to us off air.
Yeah, because I said I would request, like, do you mind telling us about the cow stories? I know you've done it before. He's like, well, yeah, that's kind of my signature stories. I always give them at a conference because it's funny and it's true. And I'm like, well, that's good. So,
and the thing with Micah Hanks is, he says, look, if we talk about something off air, just let's, reapproach it during when we're on air, and we'll talk about it. He was another great guest. I was so excited to get on.
And we could easily have him back and talk about a whole different set of things and be just as good as the other one.
We got the Doctor Who talk in, and that was fun to talk to him about that. Those are some of the moments. Now, Kay, as you know,
yes.
We've incorporated you into different things into the Spaceboy universe. One, you're mentioned in a commercial that she wrote as me being the Star Hustler.
If anybody's old enough to remember the Star Hustler from PBS, right before PBS would go off the air, he'd come in and tell you about what we're going to see in the night sky.
Yeah, I saw that. He was one of my favorite characters on TV.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, I would be remiss to say that you have been one of the biggest supporters of Spaceboy Universe. And you've helped us out during the dark times as being a sponsor. You've been there supportive-wise to support our tweets, Facebook. You've just been an overall great person. If there was ever anyone that needed to hear this out in the audience, Spaceboy really appreciates K28. He is the honest guy that he comes across as. He's genuine, honest, and I can't say it enough that I appreciate you being my friend. So
thank you.
I know it means so much that you have participated in the universe with us and been there when we've had some downtime, and you've been there propping us up, and we owe you a lot of thanks, man. We appreciate you.
Well, just keep on going.
We do appreciate it.
We will. Now, next week, Tuesday, we're going to Mexican food, and we're going to have a good time. Now, as you know, there are some rules. Rule number 1.
Don't talk about Fight Club.
Don't talk about Fight Club. No pictures of Surlana, but you can take
as many as you want of Spaceboy, yourself and Spaceboy, and my chicken purse.
Okay.
And I can't think of what number 2 is.
Don't talk about Fight Club.
Okay, don't talk about Fight Club. But
is that a robot versus robot?
Yeah, I guess you could say robot versus robot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But so we're looking forward to seeing you Tuesday, Kay. I keep telling Surlana that we're excited to see you. Now, the other question that you've had, we haven't been to Galveston. At least I haven't been to Galveston, even though I live fairly close to it.
Oh.
In over 7 years.
That wasn't you.
Okay.
I went briefly. Okay.
No,
we went together. We drove through there.
You
and I drove through there.
Our first date was on the ferry in Galveston.
Yeah.
Yes.
We literally drove through it onto a ferry.
Yes.
And onto something else.
Yes. And that was the last time we went to Galveston. And so, how long have we been married? Let's see, she does you.
Well, we met 2004. We got married 2006. It's like 10.
Yeah,
Ish.
something like that. 10 years. So it's been 10 years since we sent that. So I don't know what to tell your guy about getting food from the Gulf. Although
Seems nasty to me.
So nasty.
But beach is dirty and everything.
Yeah, it's not like it's Corpus Christi. You know, Corpus Christi has some nice water out there, but because it's the ship channel, you got a lot of ships and.
Oh, the ship channel bridge is fun to go over.
Oh yeah. Hopefully there's no holes in it, but some warnings ahead. I think where you're going to be staying, you should be okay though. You're not going to be on the other side.
You're going to be in a fancy area.
Yeah. Galleria,
of course.
Post Oak.
Well, I am K28, of course.
Anyway, so did you want to add something to the gravy here before you leave us, K28?
Well, happy anniversary.
Thank you.
I wish you 500 more shows, at least, right?
Speaking of which, you do understand the numbering of the show now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just tell it real quick to the audience. So, think of this as this is our first season. What we've been doing is the pilot episode for Spaceboy Universe. So,
the 0th season.
Yeah, the 0 season, as they call it. So now we're in the 1-0 season, and then it's the first season. How the show is, like, for example, tonight is 101. It's the first season, and it's the first show. Conceivably, we won't have more than 99 shows in a year. I mean, unless...
Just like 99 bottles of beer.
That's a different story altogether. So that's how it all works out. So when we start doing the shows labeling, it'll be 101, 102, and it'll keep building until we get to...
You didn't know we were in the pilot season, did y'all?
Yeah, season 0, as K28 just coined it. I like that. We just finished season 0.
It doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm. All that matters is now. So anyway, I interrupted you. Is there anything else you want to add?
Well, like I said, you are the best duo on podcasts that I've heard. So,
well, good.
You're my favorite.
I guess that means the marriage works.
Good, great. Hopefully we're...
Yeah, that means Surlana has to stay with you during the podcast. She can't leave and do laundry.
Well, I think now that we're doing this at night, we've
I do my laundry.
That
I do my laundry on Sundays now. So.
Okay, K28, keep listening because, like I said, we're going to play.
Yeah, keep listening. We're going to do some clips here in a minute.
Okay, great. I look forward to seeing you Tuesday.
Yeah,
you too.
And safe travels here.
Thank you. It's going to be raining. I know that. So.
Yep.
I'll prepare.
Yep. Be prepared.
Okay.
We'll see you then.
Good night,
Bye.
K28.
Bye.
All right. Is it asking you the rate K28's level?
It says I have 6 missed calls from me. What it is Skype is not popping things up to tell me someone's calling. I just have to see in the window that's in that somebody's calling. So, Dave Cruz just dropped in.
Oh, great!
But I think he's at an event. So he was somebody we had on the show and we interviewed.
Yes.
And I remember when we did a pre-interview with him. He was a lot of fun to talk to, and we got to ask him a bunch of stuff. And he's
Dave has got the show that he does on Sunday nights, Beyond the Strange.
I'm sure you've never heard of it.
And he's been working up now. I think he's up in his game now. He's going to create a network there, and one of his first shows that he's working on is with Reverend John Polk, which we've had on our show.
Really interesting.
Very fascinating interview with him. And at some point we'll get him back on. But you know what? I did music for his show.
You certainly did.
I wrote a new piece of music that he's playing for his show, and he loves it.
Well, who wouldn't? I mean, I heard it, and I was like, I want a copy of this. So hopefully I'll get a copy of that soon. But, we talked to Reverend John Polk, and that was my first introduction to him. And I'd like to talk to him again just about frequencies, because we did a show about frequencies. We didn't have a guest, but he would have been a good expert to talk to just about that. So, Dave and Reverend John Polk will be looking forward to checking out Reverend Polk's broadcast. Others we haven't mentioned. We got a few more. Like I said, Manu Trami. Hopefully we'll talk to him soon. And let's talk about the bizarre circumstance that led us to have Mr. Lobo on.
Okay.
How did that come about? That was strange.
Well, thanks to my Uncle Joe,
Uncle Joe
and Aunt Eva.
Shout out.
When they were living up in Dallas. And I'm going to apologize because I got a cough again.
He's got a cough again. Yeah, so his, as I like to call her, Auntie Eva, and Joe told us about, I don't know what time period this was.
Well, basically what they told us was there was this guy on the show that did like a Mystery Science Theater type show, or an Elvira kind of thing, and he looked similar to me. The glasses, mustache, goatee, hair, and so there was that connection. So I decided, well, I'm going to reach out to Mr. Lobo and see if we can get him on.
Yeah, because Eva said, you just every time I would see him, I just thought of you because y'all look similar. So somehow we managed to get him on, and as we were talking to him during pre-interview and during the breaks, I began to think you were separated at birth, not just the looks, but you had the similar interests, kind of some of the movies you like to watch. Age, music, choice. I was like, okay, this is getting freaky.
And I think, what was it, after the show had ended, we even talked to him a little bit longer after that.
We sure did.
And his poor wife, I think she got after him, like, hey, it's time for bed. Let's go to bed. But it was a great interview, and we've stayed friends with Mr. Lobo and supported his
OSI
channel, OSI 74
on Roku.
In fact, if you go to our website, there is a link that you can go to click on and take you there.
And there's a rotating banner. We should have Christopher Garitano's banner there. He's doing a new project on Bigfoot, but he's taking a different approach. This isn't your usual work on Bigfoot. Hopefully we can talk to him again about that because he's probably have some more updates. You're getting a lot of sympathy in chat for your cough.
Well,
because they're hearing it over my mic.
Let me just say, I'm doing what I can. All of a sudden my throat dries out. I get this cough.
When he gets congested, it gets a hold of him and doesn't let go. Unfortunately, and I'm the one with the allergies, which is strange because he didn't have any of that. Thanks for stopping by, Les. Thank you for calling in, and we're so glad you could drop by. Yeah, he's gonna step out of the room. All right. So yeah, we really enjoyed talking to Mr. Lobo, and what I found out from Mr. Lobo is that he knows the guys who over at Mystery Science Theater 3000, if you're listening, Charisse. He knows them real well, and he had, on his site, he has a short video of him with a Tom Servo puppet. So I was like, I had to find out what he knew about the guys from Mystery Science Theater. So they're good fans of each other. So definitely a cool thing to check out if you've got a Roku OSI 74 channel. You can go to his site. Just kind of good old-fashioned, like you say, like Elvira type of stuff. Just kooky. I'm trying to think what it's like. You just have to go there and see what that's like. But, yeah, we also had on Jim Malliard, which was great. I got to learn about him and his show, listen to his show. And I think Spaceboy was already a fan of his. And hopefully maybe we might get to talk to him again soon. Because I like to talk. You never get everything out of one conversation. There's always more to learn. And that's, when you find something you connect on, I feel like there's always more to talk about. And so hopefully we can have some repeat interviews and talk about new things. As we mentioned, Patrick Spora, he'll be on again. Hopefully we'll hear from him soon. Now, something, in regards to Star Trek are near and dear to our hearts. As you said, we've had on Manu Intiraymi, but because he was involved in Star Trek Renegades, we learned about other fan-created productions that are out there, and we learned about Jim and Jody Bray, and we had them on to talk about their Star Trek fan films, and they're so similar to us. You know, they're married, and
we made a real connection.
Yeah,
there.
they're so much fun to talk to. They said anytime I wanted to talk about Riff Tracks or Mystery Science Theater, just pick up the phone and call them. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. And we did that back maybe like in February or so before the hammer came down with these, is it CBS or Paramount's rules for fan productions.
Related to Axanar.
Yeah, and it came down because of Star Trek Axanar. And basically what happened was, don't do that. Mm-hmm. Don't use the word Trek, don't use the word Klingon, it's all copyright. So basically it killed all fan productions everywhere. So we had them back on more recently to talk about what the fallout was, and they said actually it's kind of freed them up to make a more generic sci-fi film where they can do anything they want now. So they actually had a good experience with that rather than being bitter about it. So they're continuing on with their productions. And I know we will be talking to them again soon.
Oh, yes, most definitely, because we love Star Trek. No offense to Star Wars. I do like Star Wars, but Star Trek is in our blood. I mean, it inspired me to go into the tech field. I was a big fan of Scotty when I was a kid, watching the syndicated shows in the 70s. And, and I give it all to Scott, Captain. But, we love Star Trek, New Generation, or Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, any Trek thing related, we like to get our hands on and watch. Now, we'll have to wait and see what happens to Discovery, which that's a whole other ball of mess that we'll talk about another time. But as far as Jim and Jody, the real deals. Mr. Lobo, the real deal. These are great people that we've gotten on. As far as going back to Jim and Jody, I believe that I had found them on Twitter, of all things, and made the connection that way. And it was great because, they turned out to be really down-to-earth, great people. And we appreciate the fact that they were able to be a part of our universe.
And their site, I think, is The Outer Rim. They changed the name of their production and they updated their URL, The Outer Rim, because of that, the fallout from the Trek. Mm-hmm. And two more. Of course, we recently had on Micah Hanks, and I was only slightly familiar with him. I had to go quickly, scramble, listen to some podcasts, learn about him. And I'm thinking, boy, I hope we can have him on again soon. I know he's kind of like a hot ticket, but I genuinely enjoy talking to him, and I feel like I could talk to him about things I don't necessarily can talk to you about, or you're not interested in. But I can, at least get my 2 cents in with him, and then you could go back to talking about Doctor Who or whatever it is you want to do. But that one really surprised me, and I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. Nothing on his part. It's just me because, I have things preset in my mind about certain. Okay, I think we have another caller.
Okay, patch him through.
And let's see who this is.
Caller, you're on the air.
Hi there, it's Ty from Evan.
It's Ty! Man, I wish we had a bell to ring and some confetti.
Like I haven't heard from you in forever. How are you, my friend?
This feels special.
Doing well.
You sound good.
Better than you.
Everybody's doing better than him.
I'm sorry, everyone. I appreciate everybody just bearing with me as we get through tonight's show, and I just didn't want to miss this show, and because it means a lot that we've made it a year. So,
yeah,
it's a very, very special show. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would say my favorite show would probably be the one with Manu Intiraymi, and probably Micah Hanks was the other second choice, I think.
Those have been some great guests.
That man can talk. Of course, he's used to it. He's
right. I mean, it is true what they say that you don't really have to, you just point him in a direction, and he'll go from there. And with some guests, you worry, are they gonna kind of fill the time? Not necessarily with worry-wise with Micah Hanks, because he is just a walking encyclopedia of the universe. I mean, he could talk about this and that, and I think we proved that, because when we started the show with that night, is that we wanted to say, hey, look, we know you do the UFO thing, blah, 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 but, we know that you are a wealth of other information. So we'll talk a few things here, but let's talk about this kind of thing. And that's why I think that show ended up really good for us, because we could ask him things, and Surlana, and this goes back to what we were talking about earlier, Ty, in creating the show, is that I wanted Surlana the ability to hear people like Micah Hanks, and that she would never hear before or come across.
I can't believe we got him on, and we got him on because of Dennis, right?
Yes, Dennis, our main man. We love Dennis, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And it's been Micah Hanks was just fabulous guest, a great guest. I love that.
Yeah, it was a great show. I think my all-time favorite show probably would be the one where I won the Starship.
Yeah, we're going to get back into giving some freebies away here
now
soon.
Things are,
now things that are on an upswing, and I like giving away things like that, and it was fun giving away some of those Starships, and I'm glad that you ended up liking that. And
don't we still have more?
Oh, we've got we got a big bucket of prize stuff that we can give away, and just waiting for that right moment to okay, tonight we're going to be giving away a surprise and blah, blah, blah. So, but yeah, we appreciate you being a part of the universe, Ty, and we know that you're out there. And of course, what do we always say, Surlana? We love Canada. We love Canada. We love Canadians. Because why? Because they're quite tasty.
Oh, hey.
What? I was just joking. I mean, if Art Bell can say it, come on. It's all in good fun.
We don't have the street cred he does.
We're working with a guy right now with the Mini Maker Fair, who it was funny because we were listening to him and we were talking to him, and then all of a sudden we hear the oot sound like boot.
Because he's Canadian.
And my first words were, out of my mouth were, are you Canadian? And we had a big chuckle out of it, and so. But yeah, we love Canadians.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've got all kinds of accents across the country. For example, the Maritimes, they have a much thicker accent, kind of like the Irish or the English accents. Whereas in Toronto or West, we do the aboot and the A, of course.
Yeah,
that's my favorite.
So, yeah, so it's a quite a variety of language styles across Canada, and of course, Canada is a multicultural country, so we have a wide variety of different types of peoples.
Houston's multicultural.
I was getting ready to say Houston is very multicultural like that too.
We've got every kind of. We have a Chinatown, and you've got an Indian, and then there's Japanese over here, and then there's a Korea area. I mean, everything. And then you can get Persian food. Just name a country, we got their food here.
That must be good. The same thing with Edmonton. We have a Chinatown, and we have a little Italy, they call it, and not so much German. There's a little town outside of Edmonton called Bruderheim, which is mostly German, and we've got little Vietnam, and so it goes on like that.
And we got Texas. There's a lot of German colonies here with like New Braunfels and Fredericksburg, and you drive through there on the way to San Antonio.
You get a lot of good sausage out that way.
That's where the caverns are, the underground caverns.
And but yeah, German sausage is the best, instead of the worst.
Oh, wish we had like a pun sound for that. Well, what's that sad horn thing? Yeah.
Anyway, I don't want to take up too much of your time. You probably have lots of other callers who want to call in. So I just wanted to phone and say congratulations.
Well, we appreciate it. We love it when you call in. We've missed you.
Yeah, we have. Thank you, Ty.
Well,
You sound desperate and lonely.
I listen to your show all the time. So.
Well, we appreciate that.
Yeah, and Canadians love you too. So.
All
I
right.
hope so.
So you take care of yourself, Space Boy, and get well.
Thank you, my friend. I will.
We'll get him well.
We'll talk in the future, eh?
Sure. We'll probably get you an extra spaceship to go with the one, so it's not lonely.
That would be nice because I want to start a collection.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
We can definitely help with that.
Yeah. All right. Well,
The
we'll
one I
get.
got.
What?
The one I got was the Vulcan Cruiser. So.
Okay.
Okay, don't give him another one.
No, and that's what he's saying.
Unless he wants a fleet.
I got your idea. Okay, so we'll do something nice for you before Christmas.
Sounds great.
All right, Ty.
Sounds
Thanks for
great.
calling.
Thank you, Ty.
Thanks for calling home.
Okay, for sure. Y'all take care, right?
All right.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Now, Surlana, we've missed 1, 2, 3 breaks. And
Yeah, we're having such a good time.
I know, but we can still continue to have a good time. Why don't we run the clips?
Well, can I mention one last guest?
Go ahead.
And I saved it best for last because I know her, I love her, Lorelei DeLille. She called in. We talked about cryptids and Louisiana monsters and myths. And because she's my friend, it was probably one of my favorites because it's personal. So if you're out there listening tonight, we also appreciate you, too.
Yes, you've helped support the universe, and it's people like you.
They're making requests for ships in the chat. I could tell Lorelei all this anytime. So
Halloween is coming. What? Do you get a ship for a Halloween gift?
You want us to send you costume?
Gordon, always with the, anyway. At some point, we will start up, we used to do the first-time caller thing, when you called in, and you'd get a prize for calling in for the first time. And that's how some of these people won prizes, like Bev and Robert and Ty. They got the spaceships. I believe we sent Fran some.
Did we send Fran something?
I think we
you
sent
sure
her.
It wasn't Bev?
No, car. I think it was one of the car, a DeLorean or something. I know we sent
the Hot Wheels.
K28. Yeah, the Hot Wheels. Yeah. So, are we getting a caller again? You have that
I'm just. Somebody asked for the number. I don't know if they're calling, but I'm paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
But there we go.
Okay.
See, it's not popping up, but are you there?
Yes, I am.
Yes, I know this voice, and I don't need to be psychic to know it. How are you, sir?
Psychic. I'm doing fine. How are my fellow mouth breathers doing?
Well, we're making it. So
10 days ago, I had a dream about you having chest congestion and holding your throat. And I didn't send it to you because I was concerned. Oh yeah, it was so real, and I said, "Oh God, he's going to be sick." And I didn't want to send it to you because I was afraid it would trigger. You might read it and you would be well, and it would trigger. Because I had somebody else accuse me of that got sick here recently. I sent it to them, and they're very sick now.
Oh.
And he has pneumonia, and they think he has lung cancer.
Oh,
but
Anyway, this is Patrick Sporer, everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Hello. Yeah, I appreciate you mentioned my name a few times there. I sure appreciate that. And I appreciate the fact that you've had me on your show.
Well, we consider you a friend.
Yeah, definitely a friend.
Yeah, absolutely. And the way that we met through the synchronicity with Mark Schwartz. We don't want to make sure we mention him in the Tree Thunder show because that's how Spaceboy and I met and eventually wound up on the show. And it was all because of the death of David Bowie.
Right. Mm-hmm. It all comes back to David Bowie.
Yeah. Now, is this your 100th show?
No. Everybody gets confused by that. We start since in television, they'll do like S, and then they'll put a 1, and that's like season 1, and then they'll put like some extra numbers to identify which show in that season is. Well, the one in our show number is it's first season. Or that we're going to the zero season. The zero season was our pilot season. Now we're rocking.
Meaning everything up to now is show 002, 003, 020, which is 20. Mm-hmm. Now we're doing normal numbering.
We got up to like 54 shows, I guess.
Oh, I think it's a little more than that.
Probably more than that.
Well, I was going to say, if it was your 100th show, you could go into syndication. That's where the big money's made.
Yeah.
All in good time. Trust me, we are looking to like make this more of.
I know he'd like for this to be our jobs, but sure. I like having health insurance and dental.
But I'm taken back by the fact that you had this prediction of me getting sick, and it happens. I would say it's been going on for 10 days when all this thing started.
Mm-hmm. Well, I sent you. You remember when I sent you the one about I saw you getting a new job and how it would happen, and then you sent me the email. That's how it happened.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, that was a positive thing for you. But I thought, well, I don't want to send this to him because if I do, and he does get sick, he might think. Because I had another guy. I don't know what I just told you about. I remember I told him. And the very next day, he was driving his car, and he got severely sick, and he had his appendix was about to burst on him.
Wow.
And he had to go to the hospital. And he called me and told me about it, and he said, I think you triggered that in me. I don't think I would have had that. See, some people are funny about this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If I had the ability to manifest all these things, don't you think I would manifest different things for my life and for other people that I know?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm not real keen on that whole.
I don't think the power of suggestion is that strong when it comes to medical stuff.
And from my point of view, I think I'm fascinated by what you present, and to be able to see those things. I'm fascinated by that, and I take it from a perspective of. If you were to tell me, well, Jim, I think you might be sick, or I see you coming sick down soon, or something like that, I don't think I would take it like, oh no, I'm going to be sick, or like, well, let's see how this plays out, and and it just adds to your, I guess your what is it like a correction level of hits and misses, and you overall, it's just fascinating what you do.
And for those who don't know what Patrick does is he has dreams that are, they're precognitive. He thinks that will predict something that may or may not happen. And he blogs it on a blog and time, date, stamps it and tells you all the circumstances around it. And then when something happens in the news, he can go back and point to, here's where I wrote about it back on this date. So.
And lotto numbers as well.
Yes, lotto numbers. Forgot about that.
Yeah. The dream that I had about Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt divorcing that I posted in May. I mean, people couldn't believe it. I mean, I had people responding to that saying, "And just no one expected that." And I said to myself, they've kind of had I thought they sort of have had some problems off and on in their relationship, but I think that nobody thought they would actually divorce. And now it's turned into massive news. Mm-hmm. So, but that again, these things are recorded in advance. Anybody can go to, the blog and check it out daily. I post things all the time. And I always enjoy sharing those things with you guys. I've had a couple of them. I think when you were going through your transition, I noticed that I had some kickback on some of the last few I sent to you.
You're not the first person that said that. We've had a few bounce issues with our mail server, and I've been looking into that. So you're not the only one. So, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't want you to think I just quit sending them to you. It's the only reason I was waiting for the all clear to see if those would go through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But, I just wanted to congratulate you because you remember I'm the one that gave you that rating system on how long podcasts and websites last for people, and the average podcaster quits after 6 months because it's a real tough thing to do. And, of course, you've got to find sponsors. It takes time to build it up. I've had my blog for 9 years, and I'm still working on it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you love what you do, if you're enjoying it, I know you guys love what you do. You can tell it in your voice, you can tell it in your presentation, and that's what makes you show successful from the standpoint that you don't have to be concerned if you're going to make big bucks with it or anything like that, because it's an extension of your creativity along with your musicality, which is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard any of your songs tonight. I've been waiting for that. That's one of the things I like about your show.
Yeah, we haven't had any breaks. We haven't, because everything's just been going on. Though, if you get a chance to play back the show, we did some pre-feed music tonight. And
good stuff.
You should definitely check it out and let me know what you think, Patrick.
I will. Also, I am scheduled for your show. Was it December 10th?
Yes, December 10th.
December 10th.
Which what's kind of funny is that we have you on the 10th, and the show before that is the David Bowie show that we're going to do.
Oh, fantastic!
So
is that going to be a good time? How you put it, cosmically, or
Well, yeah, that's pre-Mercury retrograde. This Mercury retrograde has been very rough for many
butt
people.
Kicker.
Yeah. I've had all sorts of little things break down just like that. I laugh at it because this is the time that it always seems to occur routinely. And of course, that's another study I've done for over 30 years just on that particular astrological aspect, how crazy it gets. Plus worldwide.
I wrote you back an email about that. I said, I'm going to take Mercury and punch it in its little planet face.
Yeah. And I'm going to be on Solaris Blue Raven Hyperspace show on November 11th.
November 11th. I'll write that down.
11. Can you believe that?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And one last thing for Gordon out there. He asked for a book idea. I don't know if he's done this. He might have, but he should look into why Alcatraz really closed.
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody's really studied that or investigated why it really closed. It's a pretty fascinating story, but he the way he digs and researches, he could probably find out more about it.
Interesting.
There you go. We'll push Gordon in that direction.
And then you can have that Alcatraz idea on your show.
Yeah, you brought him up, and he's fascinating. I just a matter of plugging him in and figuring out the right time for that. And but as far as history is concerned, I do like the stories of the Alcatraz stories, and as far as of course, who can forget that famous movie with Clint Eastwood? What was it called? The Birdman of Alcatraz, was it?
No, that was Escape from Alcatraz.
Escape from Alcatraz, that's right.
Burt Lancaster starred in The Birdman from Alcatraz.
That's right. See, I'm going Gene tonight again.
Gene Hackman syndrome.
And I'm going to I'm getting ready to play a clip here. It explains all that, but yeah, those are great movies. But history. You know me, Patrick. I love history, and I like reading about. Yeah, so it's always fascinating. So. And
the Bermuda Triangle idea would also be something fascinating to cover. You don't hear too many of these other podcasts ever talk about it. I rarely hear them talk about that. And that is, there's more than one in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
there's supposed to be like several, and the idea that they may be portals and things are going in and out of these things. Pretty fascinating story in itself.
I agree.
But anyway, I wanted to thank you guys for all the opportunities you've given me, and looking forward to the December show. Of course, we'll always have interesting things to talk about. And congratulations on your anniversary.
Thank you, Patrick. You mean the world to us.
I'm so glad you called in.
Yeah, we're definitely glad you called in tonight.
Does Patrick still like us?
Oh, no. I was just waiting because you guys sounded pretty busy tonight, and I noticed Surlana was on her own there, and I started calling in. But anyway, it just shows how popular you guys are. Everybody has nice things to say, and that's fantastic. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I'll let you guys go, and you have a great remainder of the weekend, and get well.
Oh, thank you, Patrick.
Thank you.
We'll talk soon.
All right, take care.
Oh, got the warm fuzzies tonight.
Patrick Sporer, man, in the house. Whoop whoop. Yeah, actually, I got the chance to meet Patrick on a good friend of the show and supporter, if you will, Mark Schwartz, who is one of the.
Sorry, we got another caller.
Well, I'll explain it after this caller.
Hey there, caller.
Caller, you're on the air.
Hi, it's Miss Michelle.
Hey, Miss Michelle. How are you, dear?
Oh, I'm doing good. I just thought I'd mention how wonderful and how much I appreciate the Spaceboy T-shirt that I got.
Let's see. You're gonna get people riled up.
Yeah,
again.
you go flaunt it. Now they're all gonna want one. And
but yeah,
well, I try to make everybody want one.
Well, they should, and you can get the shirt by going to spaceboyuniverse.com, and there's a little banner up on the left-hand side. Get your own Spaceboy Universe shirt.
I'm like a walking billboard.
Good.
Do we have to pay her?
No, I come free.
So since you called home, tell us. So, what has been some of your favorite highlights? Favorite show? Favorite guest?
My favorite show was the Jack the Ripper show.
The one we did, or the one where we interviewed the guy?
The one you did.
Okay.
Yeah, we did a Jack. Remember, we did Jack the Ripper, and then it kind of led into.
We knew we'd probably
Holmes.
do another one because there's a lot of content there.
Yeah, because while we were doing the H.H. Holmes, that led me to the TED Talk, which then I got to talk to Solaris Blue Raven, and which got us Jeff Mudgett. But that's how that all went down. And so, but yeah, the Jack the Ripper thing was a great show, and it was.
Donna did amazing with that.
There you go.
Like I said, it's one of these things where I'm vaguely aware of the subject matter, but I don't know enough to talk about it, so I need to go research it. So what I like about when we talk about these historical things like JFK assassination, I know just enough from what you glean from pop culture talk and trivia. Now I got to go and find out things on my own to do the research so I can talk about it and ask questions. That is what I enjoy about doing this show.
Yes, yeah. And I'll tell you, Gene hasn't said nothing. He just loves the Star Trek show you guys did. I didn't get to listen to that one.
I figure we do a Star Trek show like every sixth show because it's just in our lives. It brought us together. We were married at the Star Trek experience.
She's wearing a Star Trek
I'm
shirt?
wearing a Star Trek shirt right now.
I'm sorry, I'm in Jurassic Park.
He's in his
mode.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah. But, that's so sweet. And then when I heard Ty talk about the different accents in Canada, Nova Scotia, eh?
When you said, talk about a boot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't talk about anything like that, okay? That's I get really mad. When I get mad, I have a fairly clear accent.
We're not making fun. We're just saying that's the little tail signs, the giveaways. I got no room to talk.
It's kind of like, when you listen to people, as we do, and just, it's like we could pick these things up linguistically when people talk. It's cool to us. It's like, hey, I recognize something in your voice, and I know you're probably from this part of the country, or you're from this country, or so yeah, we don't mean anything negative in that sense. We, like I said,
no, I didn't take it negative. I didn't tell it.
Yeah,
when I get mad, you can really hear it.
No, well, we don't want to get on your
no,
bad
I don't
side.
want to hear that. I don't ever want to hear that.
It usually happens when I get stuck behind somebody in traffic.
Oh yeah, we were
like on.
Exactly. We were talking to Gordon and on the phone, and we happened to be coming back from lunch, and we were in the car, and he gave me the phone. And if you drive even one day in Houston, you're not going to go a mile without cussing someone out, or you may even have to make up new cuss words because the ones we have maybe don't even cover it all. But somebody did something in front of us, and I was like, bleep, 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 and he goes, wow, I've never heard you cuss before. I'm like, you've never driven in Houston, have you? So
we can get a little excited.
Oh
with
my
our driving.
goodness!
Yeah,
people here don't care. They don't care about you, your safety, their safety. They're going to get there if they take us all down with them.
Well, in Royal Nova Scotia, you don't have to worry about the safety in that sense. It's all people drive too slow, and they drive.
Oh, that infuriates people here too.
Yeah, and as soon as you get to a passing lane, they speed up, and that's where I start getting mad, and then the accent starts coming out.
Oh yeah, Kay will find this out for himself. He says he'll be driving in Houston on Monday.
Yeah, I have my little rage that I get into, and generally I'm not a profane person, but when
he isn't. He really isn't.
I'm generally, I try to think of other ways of saying things or expressing things, but put me behind a wheel during rush hour traffic.
You can't help it. It's just,
I mean,
it's horrible.
Some people should not have the ability to drive their own car. They should be busing or on a bike or, out of the...
Anything on wheels.
Anything on wheels.
I understand that, but don't feel bad about your profanity because I can sound like a sailor when I want to.
Oh, my.
Oh, yeah. Sounds like she and I could bond over that.
We would do fine. I find new ways to insert the cuss word.
Yeah. But I'm glad you liked that Jack the Ripper show. We'll get back to some more historical show content here. So we've got a few things coming up. We just
actually I'll throw one out there. We're talking about some ideas that we're doing. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at our board, and we're talking about doing traders of U.S. history as a topic. And there's some things there that sound that I've come across. Hey, I'd like to do something like that. It's historic.
Traders, as in like Benedict Arnold.
Yeah. So
not like Trader Joe.
Yeah, which is a total different topic altogether. But that'll be coming up. But historically, like the Jack the Ripper thing, one of my favorite topics as a kid, and you can bet your bottom dollar that we'll have more shows like that.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. I like that. I also like the show where you interviewed Dave Cruz. That was good too.
Yeah, we had fun with him.
What? Dave Cruz? Really?
Yeah, no, well, you take what you can get, right?
Yeah, I guess. It's kind of like Gordon. Dave. I mean, but no, Dave Cruz, yeah, he's great guy. I'm glad he's my friend. And he's making it happen just like we are, and you couldn't ask for anything better.
Indeed.
Yeah.
We better have him back on if we can find like a topic he's interested in to talk about. Like we did with some of our other guests.
Yes, I'm going to let you go so you can get to your flashbacks because
Yeah, people are waiting for our best of clips.
You'll be running all night long trying to get to them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, we appreciate you. Thank you.
Bye.
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 All right. Do you want to take a break or do you want to play some clips?
Well, we can play the clips.
Play the clips because you can mute yourself.
Yeah, so here we go.
Best of. Here we go.
And now, here's a
blast from the past.
I'm sure you might have that information, do you?
I don't have that information because as much as I enjoy this subject, I'm between loads of laundry, so I don't have a lot of time.
Hey, Surlana, if they want to become a friend of the show on Facebook, what do they need to do?
Well, I mean, they're going to have to pass a few tests. We're thinking about enforcing that, that American Ninja Warrior thing. That might be a good one to see who's really worthy and really wants it bad enough.
I turn to you, Surlana, and ask you, how does it look out there? Are we actually getting people listening that, compared to last year?
Well, last year when we had no such thing as a webcast when no one was listening.
What I meant was...
So things are looking up.
Surlana, would you like to start off by saying a few words to kick us off? Or
like, dear Lord, please bless this webcast. That kind of words? Or
it means love when your wife turns over in bed and she looks at you and she says, you know what? I just want to punch you in the face.
I just want to punch you in the face.
Just because you're just so good looking.
If you do not call in within the next 2 minutes, I'm going to talk about cultural imperialism theory. 713-701-5214, or I'm going to talk about theory. Yes, call in with your favorite pie recipe. We'll put it on the internet. And apparently Spaceboy doesn't like my diet iced tea.
Oh, that is
I'm not crazy
nasty.
about it. It's not what I thought it was going to be either. But life is full of disappointments.
That's like finding leaves on the ground in a puddle and then boiled to make some kind of drink that.
Yeah, that's their new fall line: boiled leaves in a puddle.
Well, that's exactly how. I love tea, but that was just nasty. E.T. The extraterrestrial
Where did that come from? I must be thinking of.
I'm gonna say it. Is she the extra testicle?
I did not mean that. I think our audience knows better than that. I think it just didn't come across correctly.
I don't feel well.
In fact, I've heard that they want to use the voice of. Why do I always get a brain fart when I'm like right on?
Because you're under pressure, and you're live, and there could be lots of people listening.
Who did Willy Wonka? Gene Hackman? No, not Gene Hackman.
Oh my gosh! I would pay money to see Gene Hackman as Willy Wonka.
Wrong Gene. Anyway,
somebody call Hollywood.
So Gene.
Oh my God!
Is it Gene Wild?
Gene Hackman.
Gene Wild. Hey, tune in here.
Wait, no, I want to write this down.
Gene Wilder? Is it Wild?
Yes,
there.
dear.
And those were my favorite clips from our past shows. And if you want to know what those specific ones are from, I can tell you that. Send me a Twitter blast or on Facebook. And
forgot about Circus Peanuts.
Yeah, I couldn't find that one, but it's in there. It's more of a chat room thing, and you can still go back and look at old chats from within Spreaker. They're still there. So yeah. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed that, and hopefully that's not the end of the hilarity. We'll still have fun. I hope so.
So, what do we have to look forward to on the universe, Surlana? As far as
what are the changes coming up? I mean, we had a big change this morning in the way of upgrading our internet connection. So,
business class. I'm still cracking up.
Yes,
excellent. Thanks, Bob, for that. That really cracked me up. Yeah, so we got that going. There's probably going to also be a change in the format of how we do the show. Normally, we do the show in the first 10 minutes, we do banter. Because we really want to give you more show, we're talking about expanding the show to 3 hours. The first half hour is going to be our banter back and forth, so we can make sure that everybody gets into the show and they don't feel like they have to be rushed. And they'll get more of our thoughts and things on the universe within the 30 minutes. And the show will start promptly at the top of the hour. If there's no guest, we'll try to do some music before the pre-feed, but when we have a guest...
Yeah, we can't do that.
It's very difficult to do
because we'll have them on Skype.
Yeah, so, some nights, some pre-feed music, like tonight we got some pre-feed music, but and then we'll take it for the first 30 minutes of our banter of marital angst, as we like to call it. Bottom of the hour, our guests will join in, or we'll start our topic then, and we'll take the show all the way to midnight, Texas time. Central Standard Time. That it will be great. And like I said, it'll give you more universe to chew on through the course of the night. So those are some more changes. Now, we're still lined up for November, I guess it's 12th and 13th, or 11 and 12th for Mini Maker Fair.
12th and 13th. Oh, we've got a caller.
Okay, patch them through.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Are you there?
Hello.
Oh, hello.
How you going?
Good. Who's this?
Bloke from Oz.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't want to make any assumptions.
I didn't even though I saw a video today, and in the accent, I know that I'm going off in left field here. I was watching some fail videos, and I could tell that they were from Australia, and just the way they said a certain word. So anyway, it's good to hear from you. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. Yeah, I was just thinking about the accents, and I thought, I'd ring in. I've got an accent, apparently.
It's one of our top favorite accents across the world. So, how is it down under today?
Not too bad. Mm-hmm. I'm sort of working on my attic at the moment, so I'm a bit hot inside the roof of my house, but just listening to the show and just enjoying all the phone calls and that. Yeah, that's good. Congratulations on your anniversary.
I think he's a first-time caller.
Is he a first-time caller?
Yeah.
Are you a first-time caller?
Yeah.
I am.
I think he should get a prize.
Oh, my goodness.
But what does he like?
we could send him a shirt.
You send him some Tabasco. Now you got Tabasco.
Would you like a Spaceboy Universe shirt, bloke from Oz?
Yeah, it's Mark, by the way.
Oh, Mark. Okay, well that works out fine.
It's Mark.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I don't care. I don't care. I'm easy. I don't care.
We like it when people are easy. So do me a favor. So we'll need your address. Just send us your information to contact@spaceboyuniverse.com, and then we'll make an arrangement to get you an official Spaceboy Universe T-shirt sent to you.
We want to let you know we appreciate it when you call in.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much.
Yes. Well, thank you for calling in.
It's a pleasure.
Yes. And
I don't listen as I would like to, but yeah, I try. David Adair, I listened to him. It was a great show.
Oh yeah, we liked him too.
We tried to ask him questions that not everyone has asked him. You know.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it?
It is hard.
It is because everybody wanted
sort of years.
Yeah. Any kind of shows that might pique your interest that you'd like us to try to get on the universe?
I'm always into the UFOs. I like the nut and bolts type stories.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's interesting you bring up UFOs because there is somebody that is on my list to get, and I'm close to probably getting it. And maybe Dennis can help me on this. Is Preston Dennett? I would like to get him on the show, and he has fascinating stories related to the UFO phenomenon. And have you heard of Preston Dennett?
Yes, I have.
Oh.
Yes.
I think that'd
be good.
That would be a good show, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry for cutting you off, guys. A bit of a delay.
No problem.
No problem.
No, Preston would be great, I reckon, for sure.
Well, he is somebody that's on my list. So between Dennis and myself, I'm going to see if we can get him on the show. And yes, Eric, I'm reading the chatter out there, and Preston is the man. And But yeah, we'll definitely going to try to get him on the show. But yeah, don't forget to send us your information at the contact@spaceboyuniverse.com so we can get you hooked up with an official shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, no problem.
We appreciate
Thanks for taking my call, guys.
Yes.
Thank you.
Keep listening.
No worries. Thank you very much. Catch you later. Bye.
You.
Bye-bye. Now, everybody don't get jealous because I just gave away a shirt. He was a first-time caller, and we need a shirt down in Australia anyway. So
we need one on every continent.
We need one on every continent.
If you live in another continent, please call in right now.
So, but I'm not sure where. I think he is in L.A. He might be, Eric. But yeah, in fact, Space Cadets, if you want to help out and you know Preston, tell him, hey. He needs to be on Spaceboy Universe.
Don't harass.
No,
But,
I'll be nice.
Our cadets are nice.
Yeah, our cadets are nice. In fact, I had a conversation with Solaris one time, and she said, the people in your chat room are just the nicest people. And they are.
They are.
Space Cadets are nice.
They also can get a little naughty, but I think that's fun.
Yeah, I think that's all Gordon's fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, so blame it on Gordon.
But they're still respectful. I think there's another call coming, babe.
Well, patch it through.
Are you there?
I'm here. It's Eric.
Hey, Eric. We were going back and forth in the chat room, and you call in. Hey, how are you, my friend?
I was searching for the numbers, and I found it. You guys got like 1.4 million comments.
Where's that at? Oh, in the chat?
Or 1.5 thousand.
I think it's thousand.
I'm not sure. It's a huge number. That's all I know.
It is a big night tonight, and it's
a huge night.
Yeah, so this
so
show.
Is your 1 year show? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, we started September 28th of last year. We're a few days early, but this is the day we would do our broadcast, and so we're just celebrating the fact that in Barry Manilow style, looks like we made it to a year. At least.
I love it.
So yeah.
I'm just trying to understand, are you and Surlana husband and wife, friend, boyfriend, girlfriend?
No, it's an elaborate ruse. I'm actually a highly advanced artificial intelligence that he calls me his wife because it's less creepy that way. But yeah, I'm basically just like those old chat room bots you got back in the day in IRC.
Yes.
You guys, I just get the vibe. You guys just have a great relationship. It's awesome to hear you guys talk back and forth. I just get a good feeling from it.
It has to be to survive a podcast. I mean, a webcast together.
I thought you were going to say it has to be because she married me, but the thing is, we've been together for over 10 years, and
wow,
and like I said before earlier in the broadcast, the many conversations we've had in the car. If we've only recorded those,
well, he actually did record it once,
and it's been comedy gold sometimes, and we just inject our marital angst into the show, and let the chips fall. And
where you said it's my universe. I said and I'm trapped in it. That's where that slogan came from.
Yeah, so
you guys have probably heard of the guy, the Wolfman, the other guy that does the show at midnight. Have you heard of him?
I think I have.
He's in Canada, Wolfman Mike.
Yeah, we're not talking about Wolfman Jack then.
No, that's a different.
No, Wolfman Mike. Well, interesting, funny story. At least I thought it was funny. He was talking on a show the other night, and he forgot to mute during the break, and he was having an argument with his wife.
We've done that a couple times.
Oh, trust me.
We've learned to keep the personal commentary until everything is shut down, turned off, and we've left this room.
There's been like break times when they're like, no, say this, or no, we should have done that, or
like, don't talk over the guests, and like, don't tell me what to do. You're the boss of me.
And but I think in the long run, we enjoy doing this. We like getting behind the mic. I never would have believed that Surlana would have warmed up to doing the show.
I'm still waiting to be dismissed, to tell you the truth.
As much as we don't use the title anymore, even though it's my universe and you're kind of trapped in it. I think it translates. You're just proof positive, Eric, that you hear what we're trying to convey is a show about two married couple that are nerdy and enjoy different things, and you're getting a piece of what we are every day. So,
right on. Well, I wanted to share a story. Is it okay to talk about a show that I heard? You guys, I'm sure you've heard of Phenomenon Radio, the one with John Burroughs and
yes. I was listening to some of their stuff just the other day on YouTube.
Did you happen to hear it Thursday by chance?
Which one was that?
Just this past Thursday.
Was it with the John Teeter or?
Oh no, this was with Cookie.
No.
I put a comment. Okay, this is a very interesting story, at least in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You probably know. So John obviously had the experience at Rendlesham Forest in 1980.
Yes.
Right. And there were multiple nights there. I think it was the 26th, 7th, and 8th, I believe. But anyway, so what he's been doing, which I think is pretty impressive actually, in the show that he does with Linda, is he's been finding people that were actually there that night that have not come forward. These are people that are just in the wings. And so he had this guest on on Thursday for the very first time. Her name was Cookie. She spoke out first time on the radio to tell her story of what she experienced and what she saw the evening on the 26th. And she even actually said it was between 12:03 and 12:08 a.m. And she was out there with Jim Pennison and John Burroughs and who was the main guy, Colonel Halt, and of course there were others out there as well. But they were in the forest, and she wasn't literally right next to John Burroughs, but she was close by, and they were all observing the light, changing colors. My opinion is it's not from this planet, but I'm just going to call it the light that was changing colors. And she is the first person that's actually that I've ever heard that said. I mean, she's not very credible to me, but she said that she actually was looking at John Burroughs, and he literally just vanished right in front of her eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And he was gone for 8 to 10 minutes. And then she's observing what's happening, and she's looking at the light, and she's seen Pennison and Halt, and she's looking in the area where Burroughs was. And then he rematerialized and reappeared. And when he reappeared, he was very, very sunburnt, and also Pennison was very sunburnt. But I just thought that was fascinating because I'd mentioned it in the chat, and Dino, I don't think Dino had heard of it. Dino likes to hear stories. But I don't know if you guys had heard that story, but I thought that was pretty awesome.
I hadn't heard that particular story, but I am familiar with the whole Rendlesham Forest. That's kind of like Britain's Area 51 or crash. Roswell crash incident. That's like their big thing that they have over there.
Yeah, all that is very fascinating. I hadn't heard the cookie thing, so I'm going to have to
We did listen to her talk to somebody who calls himself John Teeter II, and I was thrown off by Linda because she kept pronouncing people's names very different than how I've heard them. She didn't say Teeter, she said Tidor. She didn't say Dick Cheney, she said Dick Cheney. And I'm like, why is she pronouncing things like this? Maybe that's just the way she is. But that was an interesting show because I was trying to draw my own conclusions based on the guy who was calling himself John Teeter II. The way he answered questions, he was so hesitant, and it was like he had to think about it. It's maybe he's just not used to being interviewed. Maybe he's not very articulate. But if you get to a level in the military that high up where you're driving the experimental aircraft going supposedly time travel, you can't be, ignorant. So I just don't think this guy, he either has a very great imagination, should be writing books of fiction, which he did write a book. I just didn't like the way he presented himself. He didn't do anything good for his credibility, and the way he was very hesitant and seems like he had to think about something before he answered her. There's a lot of awkward silences. Maybe that's just my
there was
critique,
another Teeter, I don't know if it's the same one, but he was on the show with Heather, Midnight in the Desert, several months ago, and nobody was buying him. They just sounded like the fraud.
This guy said that there was the other Teeter version out there has been sent to discredit him, and this guy supposedly flew an experimental craft that will go up above the earth, go up to the speed of light, and then push a gravity wave, and go back or forward in time. He went forward to 2050 and found out it'd been ravaged by World War III. There was radiation damage, radiation sickness, all that stuff.
So, look, here's my thing of this John Teeter thing is that I don't think there's really anybody out there that can convey the story, or it seems like they're just replicating what's already out there. The only fascinating part of this story that I keep drawing back to is the lawyer, Larry Haber.
Passaggio?
Not Passaggio. That's a different guy altogether. But Larry Haber is an attorney, I guess,
for that family, for the Teeter
family. And that angle, and I've heard it on Coast to Coast AM, and that particular angle is quite fascinating. The connection into the John Teeter mystery, if you will. Now. So yeah, some of the stories I've heard from these Teeter guys, of different guys, have just haven't lived up to what they should live up to. It is what it is, I guess.
Oh, one more thing. So that night, Thursday night, it was a 2-hour show, and they had another guest on the second hour, and he was a guy that worked. He was in the tower. I'm sure they have more than one tower, but he was in the tower that was observing. It was his responsibility. His job was to observe, anything that was happening in the sky, and so he was witnessing these lights as well. And this was very interesting, also, because he said he got a call, and he doesn't know who it was that called him, but obviously it was somebody that worked at the base there at Rendlesham, and said somebody's coming up. Just let him in. He didn't say who it was, what his name was, and you guys can go back and listen to the broadcast. I'm not making any of this up.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this is all, So anyway, the guy, whoever this person was, comes up and knocks on the door, and this is during the same evening at the same time while these lights are in the sky and whatnot. But anyway, so he knocks on the door. The guy in the tower lets him in, and he doesn't introduce himself, doesn't say who he is. He's dressed in plain clothes, doesn't have any kind of uniform on, nothing, not a Men in Black kind of look. Apparently he just had on a white shirt and regular dress slacks. Came up, didn't say anything. He had binoculars with him. He stood there next to this other guy. Sounded like maybe it was a black gentleman that was working in this tower. And anyway, so they're both observing these lights in the sky, and they both have their binoculars. And he stayed in there for about 30 minutes, observed the lights with the guy, and just left. Never said who he was, what he was doing, and it was never discussed afterwards. In other words, the whole thing was very hushed up. I mean, you guys probably know this, but they were all told to keep quiet.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought that was fascinating too. Just the fact that usually, if there's somebody in the high up that's going to come and investigate something, that they're going to have their uniform on and they're going to introduce themselves, say I'm Colonel so and so or whatever. But this person just came in and there was no identification, and so I thought that was interesting.
It is truly a fascinating, interesting story, and I'd like to maybe touch upon it at some point in our show. When there's more information that is out there.
Yeah.
And
what about getting John Burroughs on the show? Is that even a possibility?
In the universe that we live in, anything's possible. It's just
do we have the street cred for that?
I'm hoping that we keep.
I'll work on it. I'll see. I mean, I don't know the guy, but I've talked to Linda a few times. Maybe she could pull up. I mean, John he lays low, but
I'd like to talk to Linda about just other stuff other than the fringe topics, about just being a reporter.
Linda is on our list, and I have
she's like a fantasy get.
I've reached out to her, and one of those things, you don't hear anything, but it's probably something where we need to mobilize the Space Cadet Army, and to just kind of put the word out that, hey, have you heard the Spaceboy Universe show? They really want to get you on. So, so if you've talked to these people and you want to get them on our show, let them know that just to contact us, and we'd love to have them part of the universe.
Okay, and I'll get off the phone, but the song that I don't know if you dedicated or donated to Reverend John Paul from Quantum Hologram Maker. That was excellent. I really enjoy that contribution that you made. So and I'm helping him out with like a little 10-minute segment. And I got to say, it's not easy.
It's a labor of love to do what I do for shows like that. I mean, a lot of people have heard Fade to Black, the opening for Fade to Black.
Yeah.
I've done that.
You did that too. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, I've done music for Bill and Nancy Burns. I mean, I've done, just different things for different people. For a while there, Dave played some music that I remixed for his opening, and, he was playing that on his show for a while. So, yeah, I kind of do it. It's kind of the thing where I've fallen into this thing where, I'll do your music. Just mention me at the end of your program that, I did the music, and that's all I need compensation for. And then, of course, it's worked out where people find me out and search me out for, my other music.
Yeah. Well, hey, congratulations. I'll get off the line, let someone else call, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Well, thank you. Thank you for calling in.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Is there more?
Wait a minute. I knew I was waiting for this. I kept wondering, where is Dino?
I'm right here.
Hey, Dino. How are you, my friend?
Well, I'm doing pretty well. We're finally having a little bit of warm weather, but it's a very dangerous time. We're in the area I live. The October winds and heat and drought are leading to very high fire danger, and indeed, over the ridge from me, there was a small fire that they jumped on right away 2 days ago, but remind all of us that no matter where you live, there's some natural disaster of Mother Earth waiting to go.
I would do anything to send you our humidity and our thunderstorms, our rain.
I mean, on one end,
and our mosquitoes.
Texas was very lush looking. I mean,
looks like a jungle here.
It's a jungle. I mean,
it's green.
It's so green,
overgrowing.
I guess Cali is still suffering from a major drought, and I mean, would you agree on that, or what can you give us on your perspective being out there?
Oh, no, definitely. I mean, we had a nice winter where the rain was very nice. It came down, instead of being real heavy all the time, it came down in, blocks for a day or two, and then it wouldn't rain, then it came again. It was a nice way. It looks like the drought may be ending, but when you get to October, September, we get this dry weather. It's not even much moisture at night. So anyway, happy anniversary. Congratulations on being here for a year. And I know it's expensive to stay on the air, but someday people will pay you.
Well, we can only hope, and maybe one day, I'd like to think the show's getting better, and but I mean, over the year that we've done this, Dino, I mean, I know you've listened to a handful of shows here and there. Anything that you've liked, anything that you've heard that you want to comment on?
Well, thanks to you give me an opening. I'm sorry, it's going to be a little bit of Dino therapy session here because I'm pissed off.
Oh, no.
And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
So last night I'm listening to Dave's show, and it's all about survival stuff. And, of course, that gets you wound up about what could happen to kick you out of your house or to break down the society you live in, as bad or good as it might be.
Right.
And so I go from there to that hits us to our own shadow type of programs and false flags and all. And one of my big pet peeves the last few years is the international banking industry.
Yeah.
And I think I'm sorry to but since this is my personal time here, they won't lower my interest rate on my mortgage, and and I'd like to be able to have a little bit more spending money or saving money. I'd say I wouldn't spend so much.
Our mortgage.
Well, everybody knows. So what happened is I got really mad today because, I get another one of these emails. Oh, we love you, because I have perfect credit and all this. And I make my payments on time, and I've never had bankruptcy. And so, call us up. We'd like to see about giving you a better interest rate on your mortgage. Well, I shouldn't have done this on the Internet. And 2 or 3 people called me instantly, right? Mm-hmm. And one of them was my own mortgage company. So I went there and I started to run my mouth, And one person was saying, well, we're going to see what we can do and how much money is there. And I explained everything. I said, the house is worth more money now. I said, you wouldn't lose, even if I did default, which I never have. You got a house that's worth twice as much as when I bought it, and I'm going on and painting a great picture. We're going to see what we can do to help you. And then I said, well, they go, there are certain regulations now. And I said, I know, the Dodd-Frank bill. And that was done because the bankers ripped us off and with the bad deals in 2008, which caused this recession we've been in for several years. Mm-hmm. And I said, I know, but now this Dodd-Frank thing, because of all the rules and regulations, and the bankers didn't go to jail, and they did in Iceland, but not here in America. And after all this, they don't want to lower interest rates for us. We bailed them out, and they were the crooks. And I said, and I know you guys probably, you're just working for this company, but I know you're owned by the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank and the Federal Reserve. And I said, they're not going to and do you know what happened? The phone got hung up. And it wasn't the person I was talking to. I'm sure of it. They said, well, can you get us your mortgage number? And I said, I'm looking for it. Oh, okay, I'll wait. And then click. Really hard, and I know they were recording because they always record these things. Mm-hmm. And there must have been, a New World banker or someone there that worked for Chase or one of the Rockefeller, and they just said, "Oh, we're not going to let this guy get a lower interest rate," and click. So I'm mad now.
See, Dino would enjoy the TV show Mr. Robot because that's all about taking down a big bank conglomerate that's got everybody's mortgages and credit cards and everything, and they get hacked, and they get that company so messed up they can only dole out $50 a day to anybody who has an account with them.
Right, and then they start pulling paper records from all over the country to try to build their database.
The database got trashed.
Yeah, it got trashed, and so I don't want to give too much away from this movie, but
see, he'd appreciate
if you could check out Mr. Robot, that you in fact. I know Fran will back me up on that one too. Is that she loves Mr. Robot too? You should check it out. It's on the USA Network. Yes.
Well, I don't have that. I have Netflix, and I think they're starting to do it when I find time. This time of year, I'm back on the reservation. I'm working full time, so I will try. But
the thing is when it's on demand. It's at your time. That's what I love about on demand. So
but it's on Amazon.com.
But it is Netflix. I believe is on there too.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll see if I can. But the thing about on demand is that my time is being demanded. I can't even time travel. My time is so busy during the winter time, and I got to keep my compound up to date. And I've got trees growing around here, and I was watering till after dark because it's so hot. I don't want to catch fire tomorrow on another hot day.
Right.
So I'm out in the dark, and the skunks come and try to spook me when you're out after
Oh,
dark.
goodness.
Yeah, I had to spray one about a month ago. I didn't know it was there. I didn't mean to, but I didn't want to get sprayed myself. And I was going to my upper yard, and all of a sudden this big, beautiful, healthy, huge, it must have been a 20-pounder skunk, and we went face to face, and I went, ah! And so I just sprayed it with the hose, and it made a funny face, but it didn't spray me. And I said, sorry, brother, but don't scare me like that.
He was probably grateful for the water.
Yeah, probably was. So that's the thing. I listen to these, I look at these survivor type shows, not shows, but information, and then I saw something about the riots in Charlotte and the self-defense. Of course, was showing how just people in a crowd can be nuts and they can attack you. And
that's why I don't like going grocery shopping. I know at any minute it could just kick off.
Yeah, in the grocery store. At least you have cans to throw for weapons to get out of there.
Don't give me ideas. I didn't even think of that.
So that's why I was late to the show tonight. I have a lot to do. It's like Ringo Starr, peace and love, peace and love. But after October the 28th, I will not be doing nothing. Peace and love, but I have too much to do. So you're going to go a little bit longer each night.
Yeah, so on Saturday nights we're going to do 3 hours. So, it gives people more chances to call in, more content. It gives us a little bit longer to yippee-yapper at the beginning of the show about things that we've come across in the week. And so it's just, overall, it'll be great for, as we like to say, more content for you.
And, I have a funny feeling that I'll even be listening more and get on time because as the nights get longer and the weather gets colder, I'll be outside less. And here we are, one more Saturday night. Sometimes I have fun stuff to do. There's a lot of aging rock stars that live around me and a lot of music. But sometimes I get too lazy to go out. But in the wintertime, I'm real lazy. I don't like going out in the rain and the wind and the cold. So I will be, this is the new hearth. The computer screen is the new hearth of the 21st century. And I'll be around listening to the stories from the Spaceboy universe with Surlana. And I'll see what I can even do. If we can't get a couple of guests for Mr. J's show, then I'm going to see. I still have a couple of people I'd like to hear. And, I won't do it on air, but I'd like to pitch this one place that I'd like you to interview these people about what they're doing on the internet. So
well, definitely, yes.
I'll give you that information off air.
You know how to hunt us down, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do. So, is there anything else that it was 2 years ago we were in the desert at the big happening? Is there anything that you remember? Since it sounds like this year they had more fun and more meat to what was going on, except people were passing out in the heat. So it's going to be earlier next year. But the year before last, is there any memory you have of what we did last at the Contact?
Getting to meet you, taking a picture of your shoe just to prove that I met you, and
the fact that I wore the Spaceboy spacesuit.
The second time we went.
Yeah, the second time, that was a big thing. And
in 100-degree weather.
Well, actually, it wasn't so bad. But one thing I do remember out of that second year, it was great the first year, but I gravitate back to the second year because I put that suit on, is walking through everybody. And finally, I see Linda Moulton Howe off in the distance. And Surlana didn't get a chance to meet her last year because she kind of stayed away because of the heat. I marched right up to her in my spacesuit. I said, "Linda, hey, it's Spaceboy. I met you.
She's supposed to know."
I said, "I met you last year at Contact in the Desert, but I want to introduce you to my wife, Surlana. Here she is."
Poor woman.
And what was funny was she was talking to a lady that turned out later to be a little unstable because she was upset because she didn't get to ask a question when they did the big panel.
Oh.
Yeah, so that was kind of weird in a sense that this lady was a little, I don't want to speak too ill of the lady, but she was not quite in her right mind.
I can't believe, given the subject of that venue of Contact in the Desert, that you being in a spacesuit was actually a big deal. You would think you wouldn't be out of place, but for some reason he stuck out.
I was a rock star, as I usually try to be when I'm in that suit. And
hey, it beats being all dressed in black. I mean, I scared Linda too. I think when we came up, I was with a couple of the Fader nuts walking after dark, and she was on one of those wooded paths there, and I think I scared her because I'm so much taller than her. She was okay, but she wasn't as warm as I thought.
She's like 5 foot nothing, and she's not very tall. I always imagined her much taller, but yeah, I was very excited to meet you because before I met you, you have this.
Dino has groupies.
You come across as this man that's. You are awesome.
Like the Godfather.
A godfather of whatever, and
I don't understand it. I'm just a guy that is interested in these topics like everybody else who listens, and I like to ask very precise questions, and I just don't understand. I think I have enemies too because I've had a few of those.
But so once that we got to meet you, it was great to put a face with the voice, and so I'm thrilled to death to actually get to meet you. And you are a wonderful person, whether it's talking to you via on air like this, or in person,
or in chat,
So you're an awesome dude. I just want to say
he's a righteous dude.
You're a righteous dude.
I'm very humbled because it's not often people can really see the real me. I've known a lot of people. I've done a few things. Some people get the wrong impression of who I am, but I do appreciate it. And you're a good person, too. You're ageless. I didn't even know you were as young as you were compared to me when you and Surlana, and that's the beauty of being into a topic and taking it seriously, whether it's our topics or whether you're into classical music or whether you're someone who plays bocce ball. I don't know. But when people come around something like that, you find something in common that even though you may be at opposite ends of something else, and that's what it was like with you folks, that you still have something in common and you kind of become a friend. And, I guess that's how people tell me I'll meet my wife, just, they say, once you stop looking, then all of a sudden you turn around, someone says, hello there,
That is
that's
very
like
true.
It is with friendship, too,
Well, we've, like I said earlier in the program, we approach everyone with an open mind and an open heart. And because we generally, we want to know who you are and the stories that you have to add to our own existence. And so it's a great symbiotic relationship between yourself and us because you have so much knowledge that you bestow on us that, we might not have heard, or it gives us directions to go and learn. And you're the exact kind of person that we look forward to listen to and talk to and chat with so that we can broaden our mental horizons into another dimension of knowledge.
Well, you also, along with any of that, intelligentsia, you put up with people's personality, and I do have a zany side, and you have to put up with my humor, which some people don't get. I'm a little like Howard Stern, not quite as extreme, but but I want people to know that while that's going on, I'm still thinking about the serious stuff. It's just if I take these topics, because some of this stuff that we learn on your show and other shows, and I'm reading Brad Olson's book now, if even a portion of this stuff turns out to be 100% truth, it's a scary world. It can be. So I try to have fun also. You can't think about it 24/7. It'll drive you nuts. And that's what they want. They want you to jump out a window with a banana,
Okay.
Well, if you're going to go, you might as well go with a banana.
Take your potassium.
But yeah, we appreciate you, Dino, and you'll always have a stage and a place to speak your mind coming on our show, and we hope that we demonstrate that. It's not all about doom and gloom on our show. We recognize there are other shows out there that promote that and do those kind of shows. We just want to. It all comes down to this, where when you come to listen to Spaceboy Universe, we want you to feel like you're coming over and hanging out with us, and we're going to have a conversation back and forth with each other, and at the end, you'll give us some knowledge. We'll give you some knowledge, and if you like it, take it. If not, just do with it with whatever you may. And you definitely are one of those rare gems that we enjoy hearing what you have to say.
Indeed.
And I promise you guys, if I ever do see, because I am very open-minded to many things, but if I ever do see a triangular craft or a saucer hovering off my deck, you'll be the first people that I will tell about it.
Well, we
before
would
I
definitely
call the media.
We definitely want to hear about it, and because that just broadens our horizons again, and we'd love to hear that stuff.
Okay, and then I'm going to put one little plug, because we all love music. We love your music, but there's the next weekend, all weekend long for free in Golden Gate Park of San Francisco, California, is the Hardly Strictly Bluegrass Festival.
Oh, yeah.
And there is all 6 stages of music, unbelievable. They're going to have, I can't go down the list. You can go to the website, and this is the irony of a lot of the stuff we learn. The guy who's dead now, who paid for all this, Warren Hellman, who was a hedge fund manager in San Francisco for years, a hedge fund, the dark heart of the 1%, but this guy loved bluegrass, and he loves Emmylou Harris, who he had every year he pays to come, and she sings and shuts down the show, beautiful voice. This guy, even after he died, he put millions of dollars into a fund. The city doesn't pay for this. He pays for everything, the security, the setting up the stages, pays the talent, pays for all kinds of stuff. And he's been doing it every year. I think it's 11 or 12 years. He died 2 years ago, but he put money in a trust account so it could continue for another 10 years. And so even the evil hedge fund people can sometimes do some good for the planet.
Mm-hmm. That's good to hear. I'm kind of jealous that you got all that musical going on down in San Francisco. It's just terrible that we're just so far away from California to
I don't know. Houston's on the map for best live music city.
Yeah,
it's growing.
I'm just saying it sounds like it's going to be a great venue there in San Francisco, and definitely if you can get down to it and you're in the I guess the area, go check it out.
And I wonder, of the almost about 1 million people that come during the 2.5 days every year, every time I'm walking around those crowds, I wonder who here is not born on this planet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny because
aliens like bluegrass.
I will let you in on a secret that there are times where I just stop in the middle of a crowd and look around, just
looking for your people.
Well, I've got to go home sooner or later, but
Yep.
But the reality is that I stop and look at the universe, because we're always going, and do we ever stop to see where we are? That's what I enjoy sometimes, just to see who are these people around me.
I'll be looking for any of the tall blondes there ever since Richard Dolan told me that he met some of them. So, and the only other thing I have to say, I know I've taken more time than I wanted, but I appreciate talking with you guys. And I do have to say, I'm not being paid for this. Richard Dolan's books are good, but this Brad Olson book, even though it has a lot of stuff many of us who listen to these programs know, it's a very well done book that kind of ties a lot of stuff together. This future esoteric book, I'm reading it now, and I was amazed how much I'm enjoying it.
Well, we'll definitely have to follow up on that one.
We'll look into that.
We'll probably have to have Brad on again,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, then. Well, thank you very much. Don't celebrate too much tonight. We need you to be fresh for next week.
Oh, well, definitely.
Oh, no, I've got to get him recovered, so not much celebrating there.
Okay. Have a good night. Thank you for all the time.
Thank you, Dino.
Yeah, good
night,
Dino.
And remember, bankers, we've got to take back the banking system.
Yes.
Always good to hear from Dino.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at that screen. Is there another caller?
No, I just looking at the numbers where I don't have names attached to them.
You know, hold on. I'm going to cough again. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But while you're doing that, I don't know if I forgot a past guest to mention was Christopher Garitano. He was the one who brought us the Montauk Chronicles, and we had him on.
Yes.
And we got to fan boy and girl all over him about that, and we talked about his upcoming project with Bigfoot. It's going to be kind of a different approach. So I didn't know if I mentioned that or not. And again, like to follow up with him again sometime soon.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to miss any of our past guests and not get them mentioned.
Sure.
So
Now, speaking of guests,
Surlana should call in. What are you talking about?
There is more than just guests that we deal with on the show. There are people behind the scenes, and one major person that really needs a lot of kudos his way is Dennis. Dennis has been a multimedia helper.
Juggernaut.
Yeah, I mean, he does so much work for us, and we don't want him to think that we don't appreciate him, because we do. We love him to death, and he's Canadian.
Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. I don't know much about Dennis. I don't know where he came from.
He's a man of mystery.
I don't know how he found us. I don't know why he likes us. I don't know why he's so loyal. But everything he does it because he wants to. And that just blows me away. I just appreciates. Maybe someday he'll explain it to us.
He's given us some advice. In fact,
oh yeah, very good advice.
In fact, part of the transition that we've gone through with rebranding Spaceboy has been. It started off as Spaceboy's Universe, and you're in it, and now it's Explore the Universe with Spaceboy and Surlana. Giving us information like that kind of help us gel the show together better, and.
Yeah, I've had a lot of long, direct messages with Dennis, and a lot of good info. Maybe someday we'll get to interview him if he wishes. I don't want to pressure him into that, but it's always out there as a possibility. Hope he'll consider it one day. Hope he's one of the people I'd really love to meet in person someday, but. Well, you don't know what the future could bring.
Yeah, you never know. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure that proper props go out to Dennis, because he does do so much, and that's why he gets
all out of the goodness of his heart.
We give him credit at the end of our show, and he's on the. I guess he's got credits on the
other shows. Yeah.
No, I mean not other shows, but on the website.
Oh yeah, he does.
And so, yeah,
he does a lot for a lot of people.
Yeah, and
not just us.
But the people that matter most. Us, we thank you, Dennis, because without your help, a lot of that multimedia stuff could not happen. We would literally have to clone myself, and Surlana would have to kill that clone, probably.
Well, we'd have to buy some social media services.
Mm-hmm. So I'm about to start choking up again.
Not because you're emotionally choked up, but because you've got drainage. But so looking forward to bigger and better things. We're going to keep doing this because yes, we do enjoy it, and two, for me personally, I'm contrary, and if there's one person out there that's not happy that we're doing this, I'm going to keep doing it just to be contrary. And Spaceboy has stepped out of the room. He's coughing so hard. I've got to get him dried up.
Talking bad about
talking bad about you. Got to get some medication in you. Dennis, you don't cause drainage. Yeah, Dennis is writing a book, and I think maybe once he gets that published, maybe we can chat with him about that.
So, Surlana?
Yeah.
There, I had to turn that up. We're coming to the closure of the show.
I just want to thank Gordon Roop, Casper Sparks, Barrett, Gigi Rabbit, Dennis, K28, John Lewis Proctor III, Bev, Bob, let's see who else. Of course, Dino, all the Jameses that have come in. There's more than one James. Jeannie Shaw, who is my sister, Mark, our bloke from Oz, and who called in.
We're going to hook you up with a T-shirt, brother. Make sure to contact us.
Dave Cruz from Beyond the Strange, and there's another Dave Cruz. I don't know if that's the same Dave Cruz. That might be a different Dave Cruz. I will find out here shortly.
You mean there's Dave Cruz imitators?
I don't know. Jean and Michelle and Cortana, it's great to see you here. And let's see, did I miss anybody? Holly, who was here earlier. Get to feeling better soon. Get healed up. Take care of yourself and get rested. Keep me updated. And let's see. I think that's about everybody. Fran, of course. How do we forget Fran?
Oh, what, Bev? No,
No.
Fran. I know. Hey, Fran, can't you believe it? We're almost on a new season of Flash, The Arrow. I know you're digging that, and I know you love the Mr. Robot season finale, which I'm not going to tell anybody else, but you know what I'm talking about, girl.
Should definitely check that out.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, we thank everybody in chat, everybody who's called in, anybody who's ever called in or ever listened. We're going to keep doing this every Saturday night at 9 p.m.
Hey, look, now, I've mentioned through the show, when I haven't been coughing, that if there's a guest you want us to try to get on the show, or somebody you think that
or an idea
that you would love to hear us interview, let us know. You can let us know at contact@spaceboyuniverse.com. You can let us know on Twitter at the SB Universe. You can do it directly to Surlana at Surlana, or at the at Spaceboy Music, which is me. There are many ways to get in contact with us.
Or direct message through Twitter.
Yeah. So any of these formats, let us know if somebody you want us to get on, a guest or a topic you want us to cover. I mean, like, for example, Patrick Sporer, we had talked about the Bermuda Triangle. I think that's great because I haven't heard that on other shows. It'd be great to bring that up. I mean, that's a good example. Something comes up. Alcatraz, I love history.
That's a good suggestion.
Yeah, that was a great suggestion, too. And so, I mean, if you got an idea, we value that idea. So let us know.
And we'll give you full credit.
We'll give you full credit, yeah.
And maybe if you're lucky, you'll get a little car or a
spaceship
or a sticker.
So I guess that covers that, Surlana. I guess who's going to be our next week's guest?
Is it going to be Amanda?
Amanda Diane.
Amanda
yes.
Diane is a local Houston independent filmmaker or producer. She's an actress. And we're going to talk about her involvement. She's kind of connected to Joe Grisafi, and we've met these people through. Shout out to Jason Ration, who is another local Houston independent filmmaker and awesome homeboy on Twitter. So
and a great interview that we did with him.
Great interview on one of our Data Bites.
Data Bites.
Hopefully we'll have him back again if he's got something new coming up, and might want to pick his brain about some things. So
yeah, it's cool that we can go local here, and Jason is definitely one of our connections that we can talk to.
We are out to conquer.
I love it when I don't have to cough, because then I can really talk.
Yes,
it's
bless
nice
your
to
heart.
be able to talk,
and I mean that in the sympathetic, not the condescending way.
I know when you're being sarcastic. You do that eye roll when you're doing your nails and stuff. So, all right. Well,
here's
to for our first year, and to many more years. And we appreciate all the space cadets coming in tonight and talking and yipping and yammering and all that great stuff. And we do a show next week, so join us again next week when
same time, same place.
Same time, same bat channel. And
Spaceboy Music, Wednesday nights at
8 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you got to hear the pre-feed music tonight, you could hear stuff like that on spaceboymusic.com, which we have the show. And Spaceboy Music is a Spaceboy Universe production. So that is something, if you come to spaceboyuniverse.com on Wednesday nights at 8, you'll hear Spaceboy Music on that site. You'll also hear Spaceboy Music play on the spaceboymusicsite.com. So 2 opportunities to catch it on either channel. So
we appreciate you all, everything you've all done, our listeners, and we'll see you again Wednesday and Saturday And K28, we will be seeing you soon.
So say goodnight, Surlana.
Good night, Surlana.
Spaceboy Universe is hosted by Spaceboy and Surlana. Executive producer is Surlana. Social media producer is Dennis Koch. Associate producer is Lee Ann Cordes. Music production is Spaceboy of SpaceboyMusic.com. Special thanks goes out to Lee Ann K, K28, Mark S, and Bob N. This has been a Spaceboy Universe production. Support the universe by exploring Spaceboy Universe with Spaceboy and Surlana. Sweet dreams, Space Cadets.